for the Tampa Bay Rays. As we mentioned, he'll be given as much time as necessary to get himself ready for this work tonight. So the big guy, Jeff Neiman, goes and faces 4 Orioles before getting hit by that line drive, a sharp one off the right shoulder off the bat of Miguel Tejada. So Sonnenstein will come in. As we mentioned, he'll be given as many tosses to the plate as is necessary. So this call to the bullpen.
0-2 now to Luke Scott.
Well, guess what? The Orioles will face Matt Garza when the Rays open that 3-game series against the Orioles next Monday night at Oriole Park at Camden Yards.
You got any more good news?
Man, yeah, we're going home tonight.
Yeah, that is good news. That's real good news. Now the 0-2 to Luke. Little breaking ball low and inside. 1-2 now to Luke Scott. 0-0 here. Top 2, 1 away with the bases empty. Andy Sonnenstein last year at Tampa Bay was in 22 games, made 18 starts last year. His record 6-9. Little breaking ball. Scott was tempted but laid off. It's a ball. And the count 2-2.
Well, Andy Sonnenstein is not a guy that will overpower you. He depends on location. He's what you might call a crafty right-hander.
Yeah.
And if he misses his location, he can get lit up.
Location. He ought to be a real estate agent.
Yeah, right. Even that doesn't matter today, though.
Not anymore. Here's the 2-2 delivery. And Luke lines it on one hop to the second baseman. And from right field, Zobrist throws out Luke Scott. Wow. I mean, Luke ripped it on one bounce. The second baseman, Zobrist, was about 25 feet out there under right field, and the ball was hit right to him. Scott is out number 2. Sometimes that shift does work. And now with 2 outs and the bases empty, Matt Wieters up there for the first time tonight. 0-0 here in St. Pete. Wieters hitting .500 in the series. 4 hits, 8 at-bats, which includes a home run for the switch-hitting catcher. And he takes it a little bit too low. C.B. Buckner is the plate umpire. Kerwin Danley is at third. DeMuth is out there at second base. And Doug Eddings is at first base. Here comes the 1-0 delivery. Wieters takes off speed inside, ball 2.
And the Rays have continued that shift for Matt Wieters.
Yeah, they've done that all series. Yeah, Wieters a very young hitter, but already they're making adjustments to him. Here comes the pitch. Wieters off the hands, a foul ball just outside the bag at first.
Did you see that note where Matt is just one of 5 catchers in Orioles history to begin the season with multi-hit games? You go to Ramon Hernandez, John Orsino, Gus Triandos, and our good buddy Rick Dempsey. They did that in their career. Multi-hit games through the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah, he's off to a great start. Wieters up there now. The count 2-1. Here it comes. And there's a called strike. That one clocked at about 75 miles an hour. I mean, that thing took forever to get up there. Wieters just stood there and waited and waited and waited and just could not pull the trigger. So the count 2-2. And now the next offering is on the way. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Struck him out. Side retired. We head to the bottom of the second. 0-0 in St. Pete. This is the Orioles Radio Network.
I've been ready.
All right, Joe Angel, Fred Manfra back in St. Pete. Here come the Rays now. We head to the bottom of the second. And here comes their third baseman. Yeah, it's Longoria. That would be Evan Longoria to you. And this guy's smoking right now, of course. Brian Mattis will work on him now. KG left-hander delivers. Longoria takes outside, ball 1. Longoria with 3 hits in the first 2 games. 2 of them home runs. Last night drove in 3 of the 4 Tampa Bay runs. Here comes the pitch. Swung on late, fouled it away. The home run he hit last night was, for Tampa Bay, their margin of victory. Came out with the bases empty in the bottom of the 8th inning. At the time, it gave Tampa Bay a 2-run lead. But then the Orioles got a run in the ninth, and eventually the game ended with the tying run just 90 feet away. And now Longoria takes the ball just off the top of the dirt.
We were talking earlier about Longoria's Gold Glove. He will receive that Gold Glove Saturday prior to the Yankee game.
And now the 2-1 delivery to Longoria, fouled away. That'll be a souvenir. Of course, at Camden Yards, Adam Jones is going to get his Gold Glove handed to him by Paul Blair.
Hey, that's terrific, and that's the way it should be.
I think Paul Blair was the last Oriole outfielder to win a Gold Glove, wasn't he? Thought I read that somewhere. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And Longoria takes a little bit low and inside, ball 3 for the count 3-2.
Well, certainly two guys that cover a lot of ground out there in center field. Paul Blair was amazing. And Adam has made some amazing catches as well.
Now Matters delivers to Longoria. Little ground ball, had him off balance, had him on the front foot, and Longoria pulls it foul. They'll do it again. Now think about Paul Blair. He made playing center field look easy.
And he was a guy that played a shallow center field, as did Adam Jones until this spring when the Orioles asked him to push back a little bit.
So the count 3-2. Matters is ready and delivers again. Fastball, and he pulls it foul. Tried to sneak it past Longoria, down and in, and got a piece of it. That was interesting, I thought, that the Orioles asked Adam to play a little bit deeper. How about just telling him to? Here's the 3-2 pitch. Line drive, that's a base hit to right field. And boy, that's just a real good job of hitting there. I mean, Matters, I thought, made a pretty good pitch. It was down and away. And remember, the 3 previous pitches were down and in, so Matters changed the location on him, and Longoria adjusted to it and got that base hit to right field.
Now Longoria is now 3 for 4 in his looks at Brian Madison. Here's a guy that was not in the lineup, in fact was on the DL when the Rays went against Mattis last year. In fact, he didn't play against Mattis last year. Carlos Pena.
Yeah, left-hander against left-hander. Mattis was very tough on left-hand hitters last year. They hit about 200 against him collectively. There's got Pena. The Rays here tonight have only 2 left-hand hitters in the lineup, Crawford and Carlos Pena. Mattis delivers. Pena will take a fastball for a called strike. Fastball there about 91, but right around the knees. And again, that shift on. Julio Lugo, the shortstop, is just to the right of second base. Brian Roberts, the second baseman, well over in the hole, but they're all on the infield dirt. Atkins holding with the base runner at first. Now Mattis a look at first, now delivers. Pena swings right through it, that time with an off-speed pitch. And the count 0-2 now.
And Pena saw the 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and then a pitch 11 miles differential, a 79-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
That's why the TV radar gun had it at 84.
Oh, really? Up there they had 79.
Yeah. I think on television it's a faster radar gun. It's much more impressive on television. There's the 0-2 delivery. Check swing, off speed again, but he takes up and in. 1-2 now to Carlos Pena. Well, Matt has faced only 3 hitters in the first inning. After walking Crawford, he picked them off. Now he would love Pena to maybe hit a double play ball here. Mattis again will look at first. Longoria getting his lead. Now time is called. And now Mattis sets again. The left-hander will look at Longoria. And now delivers to Pena. Breaking ball. Ooh, where'd that miss? Just maybe a tad outside. Threw him a real good breaking ball. Just off the outside edge, and so the count 2-2. This will be an interesting pitch here. He had Pena 0-2. It is now 2-2. Pena's gone 3 for 8 in the first 2 games. Last year, 39 home runs. Mattis again will check on Longoria at first. And now delivers 2-2. Another breaking ball. This one inside. So now 3-2 the count to Carlos Pena. Pena normally isn't this patient.
Yeah, he's the guy that hacks when he gets in that batter's box. Well, let's see what Wieters and Mattis decide to go with on a 3-2 pitch.
Mattis delivers it, and there's a swing and a foul back toward Fred Manfra. In fact, just above Fred, back in the upper deck. Manfra never moved.
Now, I had that judged all the way.
Yeah. What do you mean? You never saw it.
Well, they went with the fastball.
I was just guessing. All right, 3-2. Let's see what he comes up with now. Left-hander says yes. Longoria getting his lead. Mattis checks him over, now delivers. Pena swing and a miss, struck him out. Fastball 91 with some real good sink to it. Brian Mattis wins that battle as he comes up with his second strikeout tonight. And now against the right-hander B.J. Upton, a double play ball can get him out of the inning here. Well, Fred, back-to-back fastballs, got the strikeout.
And you had to wonder whether Pena was thinking, well, they gave me a fastball on the first 3-2. I fouled it off. Are they going to give me that breaking ball? And they got that fastball that had good sink, and he cut over top of it.
Now here's B.J. Upton. He's had a couple of hits in the series, 2 for 7. And there goes Longoria, picked him off. Here's Atkins going to second, and again, the tag by Lugo. And for the second time tonight, a pickoff to get the out. It'll go 1 to 3 to 6, the identical way on which he picked off Crawford back in the first inning. And now the base is empty. It'll bring up B.J. Upton. I was wondering why they were practicing that play before the game tonight. Well, they've done it perfectly twice now. And the pitch on the way to B.J. Sliced foul out of play.
Well, that's one thing. The Orioles were very grateful to have that Sarasota facility, that they were able to do things like work on situational play more so than they were able to at Fort Lauderdale because of the availability of fields and players.
0-1 out of B.J. Upton as Mattis again delivers. A little fastball fouled away by Upton right back to the backstop with the count 0-2. What's amazing, Brian Mattis, imagine he's only 23, had a birthday just about a month and a half ago. Yeah, it's amazing that at the age of 23, how much savvy he possesses. Somebody taught him well. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Upton takes a high fastball. Trying to get Upton to chase there. 0-2 four-seamer, but Upton wouldn't do it. So the count 1-2. 0-0 here. Bottom of the second inning in St. Pete. Now Mattis delivers again. Fastball. Upton popped it up near the plate. Wieters doesn't see it. Now he does. And Wieters makes the catch up that third baseline with Brian Mattis right alongside. And so the single and again the pickoff. He faced only 3 hitters. Fred Manfra will be along, inning number 3. Right now it's 0-0 on the Orioles radio network.
Welcome back to Tropicana Field, St. Petersburg. Scoreless ball game. Top of the third. Nolan Reimold, Garrett Atkins, Julio Lugo facing Anthony Sonnenstein. And the first delivery to the Oriole designated hitter. Reimold in there for a strike. Sonnenstein had to come in after Miguel Tejada shot a line drive off the right shoulder of Jeff Neiman, and he couldn't continue in the second inning. Slow breaking ball inside. Sonnenstein got his warm-ups and then retired. Luke Scott and Matt Wieters on that line drive. It caromed off the shoulder of Neiman right over to the first baseman. And Miggy was out. Here's a high drive deep to left field. It's going. Reimold has his first home run of the year. And the Orioles have a 1-0 lead here in the top of the third.
Home run number 1.
So Nolan Reimold shoots a line drive into the left field stands. And the Orioles hit their 4th home run of the young season. Brian Mattis enjoying a 1-0 lead thanks to his teammates' bomb. Now the sound of Nolan Reimold's home run is brought to you by Chapin Davis Investments. Let Chapin Davis help you hit an investment home run. For more info, call 800-222-3246 or go to chapindavis.com. So Nolan, who hit 15 last year, connects tonight to give the Birds the lead. And first delivery, a strike to Garrett Atkins. Reimold with his second hit of the young season. And Atkins, a right-handed batter, takes it downstairs. Garrett Atkins has had 1 hit and 8 at-bats so far to start the campaign. Andy Sonnenstein working from the first base side of the slab. Over the head, delivers. And a shot over Sonnenstein's head right to the second baseman Zobrist, who was shaded just to the right of the bag at second base. And he plays it on one hop and then fires to first. Well, that was a rocket. But the Rays positioned perfectly to take care of Atkins. And now the former Tampa Bay Ray, Julio Lugo, will step in. Lugo acquired by the Orioles late in spring training from the St. Louis Cardinals, where he was going to be an odd man out. Sent a player to be named later. Of course, he's still being paid by the Boston Red Sox. Last year, between Boston and St. Louis, Lugo, the veteran, hit .280, and he takes a strike. First pitch from Sonnenstein. Lugo was then Devil Ray, 2004-2005. Straightaway stance. And Sonnenstein's delivery all the way to Julio Lugo. Breaking ball hangs inside. Well, Joe is over working with Jim Hunter on the Masson telecast tonight because Jim Palmer came up with a case of laryngitis. So Rotka Botko filling in for Jim, and now Joe going over to help out Jim Hunter as they do Orioles baseball on Masson. 1-0 Birds here on the Orioles radio network. And Lugo lifts a fly ball slicing down the right field line. Racing over is Gabe Kapler. Crossing into foul ground by a step, and he makes the grab. 2 gone. And now Brian Roberts will step in. Roberts against Jeff Neiman. Grounded out to the second baseman. Zobrist, his first at bat defensively for the Rays. Longoria is at third. Bartlett at short. Zobrist at second. Pena at first. Shopik behind the plate catching. Crawford, Upton, and Kapler from left to right in the outfield. Brian Roberts awaits the first pitch from Andy Sonnenstein, and it's off the glove of Kelly Shopik, way outside. Brian Roberts against Andy Sonnenstein has had some real good numbers. He's 6 for 18 against Sonnenstein. And a pitch outside. 2 balls and no strikes to the switch-hitting second baseman, looking for his first hit of the 2010 campaign. 0 for 11 with a couple of strikeouts. Had just 19 spring training at bats. Sonnenstein delivers 2-0 to Bryan, and Roberts swings and pulls a line drive foul into the stands off to the right side. 2-1 now. Fans booing the fact, I guess, that a gentleman down there who got the baseball didn't give it to a youngster. 2-1 to Bryan. And the Sonnenstein delivery to the Orioles second baseman. Downstairs and in. 3 balls and 1 strike. Adam Jones waiting on deck. The right-hander's pitch. 3-1, and Roberts bounces it foul first base side to run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tomorrow, opening day, always an exciting time at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Orioles will be arriving very early tomorrow morning at Thurgood Marshall, BWI, and then have that first pitch at 3:05. Brad Bergeson on the hill for the Birds and Brandon Morrow for the Toronto Blue Jays. 3-2 pitch to Brian Roberts, and it's down and in. Roberts will go down to first base. First free pass issued by Sonnenstein, and now Adam Jones will come in. First Orioles walk of the game is brought to you by Boardwalk Fresh Burgers and Fries. They're never frozen burgers, and they're handmade every day, and their world-famous fries are fresh cut and made to order. Come by and see in Cockeysville, Arbutus, and coming soon in College Park. Roberts at first base. A run in on the leadoff home run by Nolan Reimold. 2 gone. Adam Jones at the plate. He is homered this year in the first game, and the Orioles hit 3 home runs against Tampa Bay pitching. Fastball upstairs to Adam. That fastball by Andy Sonnenstein is not in that 90-mile-per-hour category. He throws a cut fastball. That was at 84 to the Oriole right-handed batting center fielder. Adam 4 for 10 to start the year. Roberts at first base, hands on knees. 2 down, and the pitch to Jones, swing and a miss at the off-speed breaking ball. A ball and a strike to Adam. That big curveball at 78, breaking down and away from the right-handed batter. Adam Jones has had 5 hits in his looks at Andy Sonnenstein, 2 of them home runs. He is 5 for 7. Sonnenstein fidgeting with the baseball on the small of the back, now stands tall, hands together at the shoulders. And a quick throw to first, and Brian Roberts is back. T-Bone Shelby, of course, in the first base coach's box. Juan Samuel, third base side. Orioles leading 1-0 for Brian Mattis. We're in the top of the third inning, wrap-up game of the 3-game series at Tropicana Field. Long look by Sonnenstein to Shopik to get the sign. Sets. Roberts with the lead at first base. There he goes. The pitch on the way to Jones inside the Shopik throw to second base. They will not get Brian Roberts. Roberts sees the ball bounce away, and he comes up. He may be feeling that slide into the bag as he is down like a catcher, crouched down at the bag at second base. He went in hard at second base. The first stolen base of the year for Brian Roberts. He had 30 last year. Richie Bancells, the Orioles' head athletic trainer, comes racing out to make sure that Brian is okay. Roberts went headlong into the knees of Ben Zobrist, the second baseman who was covering at the bag, on the shoulders. And now he tells Dave Tremblay and Richie that he is okay, so he will be at second base. Still not standing tall at second is Brian Roberts. And Zobrist comes over to chat with the Orioles second baseman and then pats him on the back with the glove. 2 balls and 1 strike to Adam Jones. Orioles so far this season have had difficulty with runners in scoring position. Coming into this ball game, just 3 for 21. Shopik, a long conversation with Sonnenstein out on the hill, and home plate umpire C.B. Buckner goes out to move things along. And now both Shopik and Buckner jog back behind the plate as Adam Jones will await the 2-ball, 1-strike offering. Roberts in scoring position at second base. Adam Jones looking for his second run driven into the season. 70 of them for the Orioles All-Star Gold Glover last year. Jones, the right-handed batter, waving that black bat over the dish. Sonnenstein sets, looks back at Brian at second base. Sonnenstein's delivery to Jones. High drive deep to center field. B.J. Upton going back. He will have room, however, as he goes toward left center field to make the grab for the final out. But the Orioles get on the board. Nolan Reimold with his first home run of the year. 15th out of Orioles baseball is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit Geico at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. After 2.5, Orioles 1, Rays nothing on the Orioles Radio Network. Brian Mattis faces Pat Burrell as we're underway in the bottom of the third, and first delivery to the veteran DH is downstairs, 1-0. The Rays have had a runner in each inning so far, and each runner has been picked off. Crawford in the first inning, Longoria in the second. Here's a swing and a foul back to the netting, 1-1 for Burrell. Burrell 1 for 7 in the series in the season. He's never had a hit against Brian Mattis, just a couple of looks, 0 for 2. And the Oriole 23-year-old southpaw on the way to Burrell on the inside corner for a strike. Burrell started the hands, did not go after the pitch, and that pitch caught the inner portion of the plate above the knees. 1-2 to the right-handed batter, former Philly Pat Burrell. And Brian Mattis kicks and delivers in the dirt. The ball is 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Burrell. Brian Mattis, young man born in Colorado but grew up in Arizona. In fact, he was an Arizona Diamondbacks fan as he grew up, and his favorite player was Mark Grace, first baseman for the Diamondbacks. And the pitch on the way upstairs. In fact, the number 17 worn by Brian Mattis is in tribute to Mark Grace. That was Grace's number with the Cubs. And last year, Mattis had a chance to meet Grace when Grace did a game of the week downstairs, and that's ball 3. Check that, ball 4. So the walk, and each inning the Rays have gotten a runner on, but as I mentioned, each time the runner's gotten to first base, he's been picked off. That is the second walk tonight that Mattis has issued. And when Mark Grace was at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, Ryan brought up his Cubs jersey, number 17, and had Mark Grace autograph that number 17 Cubs jersey. Brian Mattis, outstanding career at the University of San Diego. Delivers to the veteran Gabe Kapler, right-handed batter, and Kapler looks at the slow breaking ball downstairs. Kapler's a guy who'll be in the lineup for Joe Madden when there's a lefty on the hill facing the Rays. Last year hit .239 with 8 home runs and 32 knocked in. Kapler now 34 years of age. Had a couple of at-bats with a strikeout as he's faced Brian Mattis in the past. Kapler swings and misses a pitch away from the plate. The changeup, and Kapler swinging futilely, and the count evens at 1-1 strike. Kapler, at one point, not too many years ago, retired from baseball. Actually, not from baseball, but from being a player, and was a manager in the minor league system, and then returned to the game. Here's the 1-1 delivery to Kapler. Swing and a foul out of play off to the right side. A ball and 2 strikes. Brian Mattis has now thrown 47 pitches in the ball game, but he enjoys a 1-0 lead with nobody out in the bottom of the third. Nolan Reimold leading off the top of the inning for the Birds, and that 1-0 Orioles advantage as Reimold hit his first home run of the season. Mattis sets, looks over at Burrell at first base, delivers to Kapler, misses downstairs and in. Count evens up, 2 strikes. That fastball, and Kapler laid off, seeing it was going to be out of the strike zone. Gabe Kapler digging in that right rear foot, slightly open stance from the third base side batter's box. Burrell a short lead at first. Here's the pitch to Kapler, in on the fist and fouled back beneath us. So the count, 2 strikes. Give you an ID coming up here very shortly, as Kapler takes a practice cut before stepping in. As soon as Kapler finishes his business at the plate, we'll give you the ID. Burrell walked to start the inning. At first base, nobody down. The 2-2 pitch to Gabe Kapler, and it's outside ball 3, so another full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is the 5th full count that Brian Mattis has had to overcome in this ball game. 3-2 to Kapler. And the pitch of the outfielder, Kapler bounces it foul. Now we will give you that ID. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Orioles Radio Network.
WJZFM, WJZFM HD1, Catonsville, Baltimore. Ed Norris in the morning and sports talk all day.
Fred Manfred, Joe Angel at Tropicana Field. Orioles 1-0 on the Nolan Reimold home run. We're in the bottom of the third. Runner at first for Tampa Bay. 3-2 pitch on the way to Kapler. Kapler looks at ball 4 outside. That is the 3rd walk in this ball game, equaling the number of walks that Mattis gave up all spring. So runners at first and second now for the Rays with nobody down, and Kelly Shopik will step in. Shopik will be getting his first look at Brian Mattis. Shopik, you might remember, in the opening game of the season, doubled in a pinch hit role. Last night got the start, and Shopik had 3 at-bats and struck out all 3 times. Jeremy Guthrie got him the first time swinging. He watched strike 3 from Jeremy the second time, and then another swinging strikeout the 3rd time he saw Guthrie. Delivery to the catcher, and Shopik out in front cues it off into the first base side dugout, the home dugout here at Tropicana Field. So 1 strike to Kelly Shopik. Shopik with the Cleveland Indians last year will be sharing the catching duties with Deoner Navarro. So far this season, 1 for 4. Shopik a guy that strikes out a lot, but also has some pop in the bat when he makes contact. And the delivery to Shopik is downstairs, a ball and a strike. Already the pitch count for Brian Mattis over 50. 54 pitches thrown by the Orioles southpaw. Last year, Mattis 8 big league games, 8 big league starts, 5 wins and 2 losses. He beat Tampa Bay the only time he's ever faced them. That was last August. Runners at first and second, and Shopik takes ball 2 down and in as he showed patience there. Good breaking ball, but Shopik read it and did not cut at it. Of course, Brian Mattis last year started the season in the minor leagues, went 4-2 for Frederick in 11 games, and then he was on a roll 7-0 for the Bowie Bay Sox before the call-up to the Orioles in August. Now Mattis with a 2-1 count to Shopik. Runners at first and second, and Shopik swings and misses. He cranked up on that 90-mile-an-hour fastball, took the cut, and the momentum of the swing took him across the plate through the first base side batter's box as he was just trying to send that one to Sarasota. Instead, he has a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Burrell started the inning with a walk to Gabe Kapler, and now 2-2 to Kelly Shopik. After Shopik, we go to the top of the order, and Jason Bartlett. Shopik hitting in the number 9 hole for Joe Madden tonight. 2-2 as Mattis glances back at Burrell at second, delivers to Shopik, and Shopik looks at it over the plate, but low. Third consecutive 3-ball, 2-strike count of the inning. Sixth of the ball game for Tampa Bay hitters against Brian Mattis tonight as they're showing patience. Shopik digs that right rear foot in. Slightly open stance for the right-handed batter. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Shopik. Nobody out. Runners at first and second for Tampa Bay, and Shopik takes ball 4. The bases have been walked loaded by Brian Mattis. The 4th Mattis walk tonight, and now Miguel Tejada, Julio Lugo, and Brian Roberts will come to the mound to talk to the young Orioles southpaw as Jason Bartlett will step in. Bartlett hit a fly ball to right, his first look. Also, Rick Kranitz is going to come out and talk to Ryan Mattis. You know, on Sunday it'll be the Orioles and the Blue Jays closing out their 3-game series. First home series for the Orioles this year. Jason Birkin begins to throw in the Oriole bullpen right now. That'll be a 1:35 game at Camden Yards. First 10,000 fans will receive a plush cow presented by Chick-fil-A. Plus, Sunday is also the first Junior Orioles Dugout Club date of 2010. So parents, make sure to register your child kid at Orioles.com and bring your voucher for your special member-only giveaway item. For complete details, call the Orioles at 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com. Well, Jason Bartlett, who's delivered a lot of big hits the past couple of seasons for the Rays, steps in. Bases loaded, nobody out. The pitch to Bartlett, and Bartlett checks his swing and takes ball 1. A runner at every base for Tampa Bay. Not a lot of speed on the bases with Burrell, Kapler, and Shopik on the bags. The 1-0 delivery, and Bartlett hits a line drive left field base hit. The Rays will tie as coming in is Burrell. Being stopped at third is Kapler, and we are deadlocked at a run apiece. Still nobody out. Still bases loaded for the Rays as Bartlett picks up his second RBI of the season with a line drive single to left field. 4 walks and now a bases loaded single, plating that first run for the Rays. And Carl Crawford will come out. Crawford was the first of the 4 walks tonight, and Brian Mattis has given to Tampa Bay. But then he was picked off at first base. Lefty against lefty, and Crawford lifts a fly ball left field. Circling around, coming in is Scott. Makes the grab. Coming to the plate is Kapler. Here comes Scott's throw. It will not be in time. as Kapler comes in to score the go-ahead run for Tampa Bay on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Carl Crawford. Crawford with his third run driven in 2010. Runners now at first and second with one down for Tampa Bay as Crawford picks up the sac fly RBI. Ben Zobrist will come to the plate now for Tampa Bay. So the first of the three walks, the first two of the three walks have come in to score. Standing at second base is Shopik. At first base is Bartlett. And the delivery is a high drive, left field, but playable for Luke Scott as he comes in. Makes the grab for out number 2. Well, the big swing, the fans came to their feet, but that was a fly ball to medium to shallow depth left field for the second out. And Evan Longoria comes up. Longoria 4 for 9 this young season. Longoria started the second inning with a single to right field, but he, like Crawford in the first, was picked off at first base. Longoria already with a couple of home runs. He has driven in 4. And now Longoria requests time, and granted that by C.B. Buckner. Longoria in his career, 10 home runs and 26 knocked in against Orioles pitching. Runners at first and second, 2 down. The Mattis delivery to Longoria, a breaking ball way inside and upstairs. 1-0. As Longoria stands in, hitting .444 to start the campaign. Big right-handed batter. Cleanup hitter for Joe Madden. And the pitch to Longoria. Swing and a miss off speed stuff. And it evens out 1-1. Came in at 83 with a changeup, and Longoria out in front and over top with a swing. Longoria now 3 for 4 in his career against Ryan Mattis. And the delivery to Longoria. High drive deep to left field. If it stays fair, it's trouble, but it is pulled foul. A towering shot down the left field line. He was just out in front of that fastball. 1-2 to Longoria. What a power-packed swing Longoria possesses. Last year, 33 home runs. Already 2 to start this campaign. And that was a long drive, but pulled foul. The 1-2 pitch to Longoria. A swing and a miss at the high fastball. He strikes him out. So Longoria goes down. Third strikeout for Brian Mattis. The Rays scored 2, but it began with the bases loaded, nobody out situation. So all in all, you feel good about what occurred afterward. There's only 2 runs scored for Tampa Bay. We go to the 4th inning at the Trop. It's the Rays 2, Orioles 1 on the Orioles Radio Network. Well, back from the bright lights and glamour of television, with his pancake makeup still on, Mr. Joe Angel has rejoined us on the radio side. Joe, you look pretty good with that rouge on your cheeks. And
I'm a little busy right now, Fred.
Here's Nick Markakis. Well, after walking the bases loaded, Ryan Mattis got out of that inning fairly inexpensively, giving up just 2 runs to the Rays. And Nick Markakis goes after the first Sonnenstein pitch and skies it towards center field, in and over to his glove side left. Is Upton, and Nick Markakis retired on 1 pitch. In the 3rd inning, Nolan Reimold hit his first home run of the year to give the Orioles the 1-0 lead. But then in the bottom of the 3rd, Mattis lost the plate, walking Burrell, Kapler, and Shopik. Bartlett singled in Burrell. Crawford, a sacrifice fly to score Kapler, and then Zobrist out, and Longoria strikes out. So you have to feel fairly decent, fairly good about the way that inning came to an end, but a 2-1 Tampa Bay lead. Here's Miguel Tejada, who literally knocked out Jeff Neiman, knocked him out of the ballgame with a line drive up the middle and off the shoulder and over to the first baseman for an out, but Neiman could not continue, and Sonnenstein came on in the second inning. Right-handed bat of Tejada, and he goes after a pitch down and in. No swing. As the first base umpire, Doug Eddings, says no swing on a pitch that from up here looked like Miggy couldn't stop a swing. And it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, if Tejada had hit the ball, I think it would have wound up on the warning track.
Yeah,
I think he
good
swung
check.
at it.
So Miggy awaits the delivery 1-1 from Sonnenstein, and breaking ball bounced slowly toward third. Gloved by Longoria, quick throw to first, and he gets Tejada. Well, Longoria playing that bouncing ball on the turf, charged in, played the bounce with the glove, transferred to the throwing end. He's got a good arm and fires to first to get his Orioles counterpart. And it's out 5-3, 2 gone. And now Luke will step in. Scott grounded out to the second baseman, Zobrist, in shallow right field. And again, that shift is put on for the Oriole left fielder, Luke Scott. Scott has had one hit. That was a home run in the opening game of the season. 1 for 8 now for the big, strong left-handed batter. Sonnenstein, the right-hander, over the head. The kick in the delivery, and Scott takes the fastball upstairs. Hey, take yourself and your family to the ballpark? No, take it easy. An MTA local bus, light rail, or metro subway will save on gas and parking while you save yourself from traffic. Ride MTA and go home a winner every time. The delivery to Luke, and he lines it softly down the left side. Racing over, not being able to get it, is Crawford. It goes all the way to the base of the wall, and Luke Scott will chug into second base with a double. Luke going the opposite way on that pitch, not hit all that hard, but with the outfield kind of shifted toward the gap, Crawford could not get over there. It bounced in front of Crawford and went all the way to the wall, and Scott is at second base with 2 down. Now Matt Wieters, a strikeout victim, his first at bat, will come up to try to tie this ball game for the Birds. And again, that shift is on for the Rays with Zobrist, the second baseman, in shallow right field. The shortstop Bartlett to the second base side of the bag. This time Longoria more toward the line at third base side rather than in the shortstop spot with that runner at second base. In the first delivery, a bouncer to first. Pena backhands near the line, flips underhand to Sonnenstein, and that's it for the Orioles. And they waste that 2-out Luke Scott 2-bagger. 3.5 played at Tropicana Field. Tampa Bay 2, Orioles 1 on the Orioles Radio Network.
Wendy's.
Brian Mattis, who walked just 3 in 24 in the third innings this spring, through the first 3 innings here in his first start of the 2010 season, has walked 4 Rays, and 2 of them have scored. Carlos Pena, a strikeout victim. His first look at the Oriole left-hander, who has thrown 66 pitches through 3 innings. Will step in now. Pena on a 3-2 pitch, a swing and a miss, his first at bat. So Brian Mattis and the Birds trail at 2-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning at Tropicana Field. And the Mattis delivery, lefty to lefty, breaking ball, and ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Is that curveball missed? And the Orioles will see the Rays after the Toronto Blue Jays depart next Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday afternoon. It'll be the Orioles in Tampa Bay at the Yards. The Mattis delivery to Pena. High fly ball, playable. Adam Jones drifting back. He is under it. Kind of squares to the infield and now backs up a few steps as he makes the grab for out number 1. The Orioles will not make their next visit to Tropicana Field until August. They will be here August 13th, 14th, and 15th. And then Tampa Bay will be the last road stop for the Orioles in the 2010 campaign. So it'll be a long time in between when the Orioles and the Tampa Bay Rays get together here in St. Petersburg. B.J. Upton popped out just in front of the plate to Matt Wieters, his first look at Brian Mattis tonight. And the big right-hander and right-handed bat takes it outside, 1-0 from the southpaw Brian Mattis. Mattis 6'2", 190 pounds, a baby face, 23 years old. The 1-0 delivery to Upton. Fastball outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Every time you see Brian, he's got those rosy cheeks. Kind of looks like Opie from the Andy Griffith Show. Here's the 2-0 delivery. And a fastball low. 3 balls and no strikes.
Oh, man, I'm still in shock.
Yeah,
see Brian Mattis walk the bases loaded. May never see that again.
Mattis 3-0 to B.J. Upton. And the pitch to B.J. and a strike call this time. He is now going to 3 balls to 7 Tampa Bay hitters in this ballgame. And the 3-1 pitch, Upton pops it foul and out of play. Full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2 to the center fielder. Upton's had a couple of hits and 8 at-bats this new campaign, and the delivery to B.J. looked pretty good, but apparently not in the eyes of home plate umpire C.B. Buckner, and there's another walk. Just incomprehensible to think 5 walks tonight for Brian Mattis after giving up just 3 all spring training.
It's kind of interesting, too, Fred, because just before that last pitch, I saw a close-up of Brian Mattis on our television monitor, and he was talking to himself, kind of giving himself a lecture.
Here's Pat Burrell, who started that 3-walk inning last inning, and here's a pulled foul third base side. It was Burrell, Kepler, and Shopik all walking to start the bottom of the third. Bartlett with an RBI single. Crawford a sacrifice fly to plate the second run. And then Mattis got Zobrist on a fly ball, and he struck out Evan Longoria. And he got away fairly inexpensively, giving up just 2 runs that inning. Quick throw to first, and B.J. Upton gets back.
You know, he had given up 2 runs, and there's still only 1 out. And he got a couple of very tough hitters, Ben Zobrist and then Evan Longoria. And by doing that, he kept himself in the game.
Upton pointing towards second base with the body. There he goes. And a swing and a foul back as Burrell fouls it off to the right side into the lower deck. Upton had that kind of a sprinter's stance as he faced second base. And as Mattis delivered, he took off sprinting to the bag, but the pitch came in and Burrell fouled it off. Upton is a guy that can swipe a base, 42 of them last year for the center fielder. So he will go back to first, and the count is 0-2 to Pat Burrell.
Well, you're right. He had 42 stolen bases, despite the fact that he had one of the worst on-base percentages in baseball.
Again, Upton with that kind of a sprinter stance facing towards second. The 0-2 pitch to Burrell way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the pitch count, he keeps climbing for Brian Mattis. 77 of them here in the 4th inning with 1 out.
Yeah, he needs a double play ball here. Upton
from first. The 1 ball, 2 strike offering to a guy that can hit into a double play, Pat Burrell, and then toss over, and Upton gets back to the bag. George Hendrick is the first base coach for the Rays. Tom Foley coaches at third base for Joe Madden. Tampa Bay 2 runs on 2 hits. The Orioles a run on 2 hits tonight. Mattis holds the set. There goes Upton. The pitch to Burrell. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Throw to second base, and Upton has the steal. Pitch high and away. Burrell went after it. Did not catch up with it. That's the 4th strikeout tonight for Brian Mattis. In scoring position with 2 down for the Rays is B.J. Upton, as he picks up his first steal of the 2010 campaign.
Boy, he got a big jump, too. Wieters didn't have a chance.
Gabe Kapler walks on a 3-2 pitch. His first look at Brian tonight. 2 down, runner at second. 2-1 Tampa Bay in the bottom of the 4th. And Kapler swings and fouls it back. Kapler got that fastball just about 90 miles an hour and sends it back to the netting. As we mentioned, Gabe Kapler will be the guy who will see duty when there's a left-hander on the hill facing the Tampa Bay Rays. Veteran player. The 0-1 pitch with the speed of Upton at second base, down and in. As we mentioned, Kapler at one time retired from the playing part of baseball to become a minor league manager, and then had second thoughts, came back in with his Tampa Bay ball club. Kapler got into 99 games for the Rays last year. Upton at second, the pitch to Kapler again inside. 2-1 now to Gabe. Remember, Kapler started with the Tigers and the Boston Red Sox.
Was he managing an A-ball in the minor league?
Yeah.
A-ball.
A-ball.
And then all of a sudden said, you know what?
I miss it.
Being back in the major leagues is a lot better than these bus rides in A-ball.
Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's in the dirt, but ball gets beyond Wieters, but Upton does not advance to third base. As that ball squirted beyond Matt by about 10 feet or so, and Upton did not make a break toward third. Count 3-1 now to Gabe Kapler.
I mentioned this over on television, but Kapler tells a story where somebody asked him, and he said, I'd never want to manage in the major leagues now because I could never stand to take myself out of the lineup.
3 balls, 1 strike to Gabe Kapler. Upton from second base, and Kapler loops a line drive near the foul line right to the third baseman as Miguel Tejada kind of bends over the line to make the grab for the final out. The Rays leave that runner at second. We've gone 4 here at the Trop. Tampa Bay 2, Orioles 1 on the Orioles Radio Network. And Reimold will lead off for the Birds against Andy Sonnenstein in the 5th. Once again, here's Joe Angel.
All right, big boy, thank you. Yeah, Sonnenstein against the bottom of the order. Reimold had that bases empty home run in the 3rd. Gave the Orioles at the time a 1-0 lead. Now he's up there now. Takes a breaking ball for ball 1. Reimold and then Atkins and then Lugo against Sonnenstein. Now the 1-0 delivery. In there, that's a strike. Caught the knees on the outside edge. Looked like a slider. Sharp bending slider. And now the 1-1 delivery on the way. Reimold swings and he sends a drive out to center. Upton fading back. He's there. Squares up, makes the catch. Out number 1. And now here's Garrett Atkins. Tampa Bay with a 2-1 lead here, just getting started, top of the 5th inning. Oriole fans, Kelly and Associates Insurance Group is saving lives in our community by donating $1,000 to their Adams County Shock Trauma Center every time an Oriole pitcher picks up a save this season. So thank you, Kelly and Associates Insurance Group, for helping to save lives. Now here's Atkins, and he takes a knee-high strike. Another slider, it looked like. Atkins 0 for 1, a ground out. Infield backed up here. Right-hander against right-hander. Sonnenstein delivers. Atkins swings right through it. Another off-speed pitch. So 0-2 to the Oriole first baseman. Sonnenstein pitching an emergency duty. The starter, Jeff Neiman, literally was knocked out. And a line drive hit by Miguel Tejada that hit him in the shoulder. And now the breaking ball. Atkins waits on it, and he pulls it foul. And the word out of the Rays clubhouse, a right shoulder contusion, and he is listed, like we all are, day to day. No, I know I am. Atkins with a count of 0-2 against Andy Sonnenstein. And we'll give you a look at the SK scoreboard. Here comes the pitch. And Atkins takes another breaking ball just off the outside edge. Final score in the American League, Oakland beat Seattle 6-2. Anderson wins over Pfister. No home runs in that game. In the bottom of the 2nd, the 1-2 pitch on the way to Atkins. Fastball is outside, and the count 2-2. In the bottom of the 2nd, Cleveland 0, and the Chicago White Sox 0. Later, Minnesota is at the Los Angeles Angels. That, by the way, is a 4-game series. Very unusual to have a 4-game series to get the season started. Atkins pulls it down the line, and that's a fair ball. Left field corner on a bounce. It will leave the playing field, and for Atkins, it's going to be a double. And then he roped it, and a ball that may have landed on the chalk on that left field foul line. So now Lugo has a chance to pick up an RBI. Minnesota, by the way, in that Angel series, they lost the first game, and they've come back to win the last 2. In that game, it's going to be right-hander Joel Pinheiro making his Angels debut. And for him, that may not be good news against Minnesota. I saw a note earlier today as Lugo swings away here on a foul ball down that right side on the count 0-1. I saw a note where Justin Morneau and Joe Mauer of that Minnesota ball club combined in their careers against Joel Pinheiro have gone 19 for 32.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a .594 batting average with 3 home runs against Pinheiro, so he might be in for a long night.
Has scary numbers if you're Pinheiro.
Oh, my goodness.
Mike Ekstrom, by the way, begins to warm in the bullpen for the Rays.
Sonnenstein delivers 0-1, and Julio again lifting it down that right side, a foul ball, and that'll be a souvenir. So 0-2 now to Julio Lugo here. Tampa Bay with a 2-1 lead. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Also in the American League earlier, it was Detroit winning over Kansas City 7-3. Bonine winning it over Mendoza. Magli Ordonez hit a home run, his first. Miguel Cabrera hit a home run, his second. In the National League, final score, the Nationals won a ball game for the first time. They beat the Phillies 6-5. Clippard wins over Figueroa. In the bottom of the 5th inning, the Cubs, who have yet to win this year, they lead the Atlanta Braves 2-0. That game in Atlanta. And now here comes the 0-2 delivery. Lugo sends a fly ball deep left center. Backing up is B.J. Upton. He'll get there, makes the catch. And then gets it back in. Atkins back to second. 2 gone. And now Brian Roberts. And again, the Orioles failed to get a hit with a runner in scoring position. What are they now, 3 for 25?
Yeah, 3 for 24.
24.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as I thought. Well, tonight they're 0 for 2 in those situations. But Roberts will give it a shot here. Brian did get on base earlier, had a walk at a stolen base in that 3rd inning, but a ground out on his earlier at bat. So he is 0 for 1 and is now 0 for 11 this season. And right now he needs a hit, and if he gets it, he could tie the game with 2 outs. There comes the pitch. Roberts will take off speed, low and inside, ball 1. Also in the National League, in the bottom of the 5th inning, Florida leads the Mets 2-1. Earlier today, Cincinnati over St. Louis 2-1. Matt Holliday with a home run for the Cardinals, his first. Johnny Gomes hit one in that game for Cincinnati. Remember him? Used to be at Tampa Bay. Now Roberts takes a call strike. And the Dodgers won. They got 16 hits today as they beat the Pirates by a score of 10-2. Billingsley winning over Mahomes. Belliard had the game's only home run. And that brings you up to date. Now the right-hander Sonnenstein checks second base. Atkins getting his lead. Here comes the pitch. Roberts will take one just off the outside corner. So the count 2-1 to Brian Roberts. A good hitter's count. And let's see if Roberts can capitalize. Mention he needs a hit right now. He wants one so badly right now. Brian up there to hit left-handed. Sonnenstein again will check Atkins. And here comes the pitch. And Roberts will take a strike. That time Sonnenstein catches the inside corner. So the count 2-2. Well, the outfield playing Brian Roberts very shallow. If Brian can hit a ball hard to the outfield in some open space, he might have at least a triple. Now Sonnenstein ready, and he delivers 2-2. Roberts pulls it foul back in the right field corner. Although Roberts was shaken up earlier in this game, back in the 3rd after the base on balls and the stolen base, there was a collision with Jason Bartlett, the shortstop. And Roberts, although he was able to stay in the game, he was shaken up.
Looked like he went right into the leg.
He did, yeah. Might have wrenched his neck, huh?
Yeah.
You think that's what happened?
Yeah, you know, going in head first.
Yeah. That's tough on the back.
Your shoulder, back, everything.
Roberts with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Atkins, the would-be tying run at second base with 2 outs. Roberts back in. Sonnenstein being very deliberate. Now the right-hander is ready, and he delivers. And Roberts swings, and he hits a one-hopper shortstop, knocked down there by Bartlett. The ball gets away. He'll have no play. So Roberts, his first hit this season, an infield single. And it's amazing the way things are going for the Orioles right now. Even when they do get a hit with a runner in scoring position, it does not drive in a run.
Yeah, they're now 4 for 25. And a couple of those hits, one was that bunt.
Yeah.
It was going to be a sacrifice, but wound up to be a bunt single. And now this infield hit. And Joe Madden's coming out. We're going to have a pitching change.
Remember, Sonnenstein came on in emergency duty. He's been out of the bullpen as the starter, Jeff Neiman, had to leave after Miguel Tejada hit him with a line drive. And so, yeah, we've got a pitching change here in St. Pete. Rays are ahead 2-1 here in the top of the 5th inning, but the Orioles have runners on first and third with 2 outs. And this call to the bullpen.
Up in the Orioles.
Well, Mike Ekstrom, a guy that the Rays acquired from the San Diego Padres, comes on to go to work. Ekstrom went 3-0 in spring training, but when you look at the numbers, in 13 1/3 innings, he gave up 17 hits. He did have 11 strikeouts, but walked 7. And he made 9 appearances and 1 start this spring. Ekstrom, all of his work in the big leagues has been out of the bullpen, and the Orioles, save for one, Craig Tatum, who is with the Cincinnati Reds, they've never seen this right-hander, so we'll see what Adam Jones can do in his first look at Ekstrom. Let's get back to Joe Angel.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. Manfra. Yeah, Adam Jones up there, the runners on first and third and 2 outs. Ekstrom, a right-hander at one time with the San Diego Padres organization. That's where he started in professional baseball. And the Rays got him on waivers. That's how they picked him up. 26 years of age. He'll go to work on Adam Jones, right-hander against right-hander. Ekstrom made his major league debut with San Diego a couple of years ago, 2008. And now Jones, he takes a call strike. With the count 0-1. On deck is Markakis, but there are 2 outs. Tampa Bay with a 2-1 lead. Check that, 2-1 lead. I knew I had that right. Here in the top of the 5th inning. Adam in this game is 0 for 2. He does have 4 hits, including a home run in the series. And now he takes the ball just outside. Although Adam was tempted. The count even up at 1-1. Infield backed up with 2 outs here. Well, the Orioles need a big hit. They have not had one the entire series. The 1-1 stretch and the pitch. Jones swings late on a ball that I think landed just off the top of the dirt. So the count 1-2. Boy, that ball looked like it moved a lot.
Yeah, had a lot of sink to it. 91-mile-an-hour fastball with movement. A lot different look than Sonnenstein, who gave you a lot of slow stuff.
Well, let's see if Jones kind of shortens up just to get that ball in play here. Here comes the 1-2 delivery. Breaking ball in the dirt. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. The ball gets away momentarily. Up with the ball is Shopik, and he throws Jones out at first base. Boy, he chased a couple of balls in the dirt to strike out. So again, that big hit was not forthcoming. The Orioles strand 2. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is 2-1 Tampa Bay on the Orioles radio network. Here we go. Here come the Rays. Bottom of the 5th inning. Brian Mattis has survived so far tonight. He's had to throw 83 pitches, and yet he's given up just a couple of runs here. He goes to work. Shopik leads off, and Mattis misses a little bit low. Very unusual. Brian Mattis having to work that hard. He's walked 5 men in this game already, including the bases loaded back in the 3rd when he allowed his only 2 runs. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Check swing and the appeal to first, and they get the call. So that time Doug Eddings said, yeah, he swung. And, of course, the fans are remembering Miguel Tejada's at bat when he checked his swing, and it was ruled a no swing. And I swear if Tejada had hit the ball, it might have been a home run. So 1-1 now to Kelly Shopik. And the left-hander Mattis again delivers. Shopik takes the ball just outside. Very unusual to see Brian Mattis have this kind of lack of command. You just don't see it. So one of those nights where it's just not quite there, and yet he's given up just 2 runs in this game and is still very much in the ballgame. 2-1 delivery, grounded foul just over the coaching box on that third base side. So the count 2-2. Shopik had a walk his first time up back in that 3rd inning. Infield backed up here. And Brian Mattis, no question. I think he's the Orioles' best pitcher. Here comes the 2-2 delivery. Changeup, swing and a miss. Struck him out. Oh, man. Did he pull the string on him or what?
And for Brian, his 5th strikeout matches the number of walks tonight.
And now the top of the order comes up in Jason Bartlett. Right-hander Matt Alberts continues to warm up in the Oriole bullpen. Jason Bartlett tonight 1 for 2, a fly ball out and a base hit. Left-hander against right-hander. 2-1 Tampa Bay in the bottom of the 5th inning. Mattis delivers, and he delivers a called strike. Fastball there about 90. So most likely this will be Mattis's last inning no matter what happens. He is now at 90 pitches. Next pitch, a fastball strike again. He caught the outside corner. And I say fastball, that might have been a changeup. Clocked at about 84, but he disguised it nicely, so the count 0-2. And now the next pitch on the way. And this one is too low. Another changeup. On deck is Crawford. Third to first. Wieters doing the catching. And now the 1-2 delivery on the way. Breaking ball gets him looking. Strike 3 called. He caught the knees on the inside corner. Bartlett goes down on strikes. Matt is now with 6 strikeouts in this game. 2 of them in this inning. And now he'll go to work on Crawford.
Dropped in there beautifully as Bartlett thought it was too tight. And it caught that little inner corner. And a good call by C.B. Buckner.
No, Brian Mattis, I mean, he starts with a fastball and then back-to-back changeups. And then the only breaking ball he saw was that third strike, and he couldn't swing the bat. And now Crawford fouls it back towards us. So they count 0-1. Mattis, the Orioles' #1 draft choice in 2008. And I say he's the best pitcher, and I really think that's the case. He is the Orioles' best pitcher. Now, he's not the most accomplished pitcher, but I think he's their best pitcher. And eventually, he is ace material. Crawford takes it a little bit too low. Kevin Millwood is their most accomplished pitcher, and that's why he starts on opening day. Crawford takes it a little bit low.
And it'll be kind of interesting to watch how much Kevin Millwood will tutor a young man like Brian Mattis. Maybe not so much about pitching, but just about the other facts of life, about what you have to go through in the big leagues as a pitcher.
Now the 2-1 delivery, good fastball in there for a call strike. The count 2-2 now to Colonel Crawford. I think about Brian Mattis, I mean, my feeling is that he's only 23, but he's going on 35.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing on a miss, kind of what a changeup looked like. So Brian Mattis has come back to strike out the side in what most likely will be his final inning, but way to end it. For Mattis, it was not his best night. He did walk 5, but he allows only 2 runs in 5 innings. And at the end of 5, it's 2-1 Tampa Bay on the Orioles Radio Network.
Presents Real Mysteries of the Sea. What?
Here's Nick Markakis to start off, and let's get back to Fred Manfred.
Well, thanks a lot, Joe. And the Orioles have a pretty good trio coming up to try to do that as Nick Markakis takes the first fastball outside from Ekstrom, who struck out Adam Jones. As the Orioles left a couple on in the 5th inning. We're now in the 6th. 2-1 Tampa Bay. Orioles' only run, the home run off the bat of Nolan Reimold. And the delivery to Nick is in there. No, check that. Just off the plate outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Mike Ekstrom, 26 years of age. Acquired on waivers from the San Diego Padres. He is the 3rd pitcher tonight for the Rays. And Nick takes a strike at the knees on the inside corner of fastball. Fastball at 90 from Ekstrom. Ekstrom last year pitched mostly at the AAA level at Portland, where he went 4-2. Got into a dozen games with the Padres. No decisions. 2 balls, 1 strike to the left-handed bat of Markakis. And delivery to Nick is a strike 2 at the knees, a fastball. Markakis, Tejada, and Luke Scott for the Orioles here in the top of the 6th. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Rays, a run on 4 for the Birds. The Orioles have left 4. The Rays have left 3 in this final game of the 3-game series. Orioles trying to come up with a victory out of the 3. And the 2-2 pitch inside. Run to count full, 3-2. Jeff Neiman started. He was literally knocked out of the game on a line drive off the bat of Miguel Tejada in the 2nd inning. Andy Sonnenstein went 3 in the 3rd, giving up the only run to the Orioles. And Ekstrom The 3-2 pitch, and Markakis lines it to left field, a base hit. Markakis saw that fastball up, didn't try to pull it, went the opposite way with it, and Markakis has his second hit of the season, and Miguel Tejada will step in now. Hey, Orioles fans, you know, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan marketplace of the Baltimore Orioles. So go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. Miguel Tejada has lined out. His line drive knocked out Jeff Neiman, knocked him out of the ball game off the right shoulder. Here's the pitch to Miggy. In there for a strike one as he gets ahead of Tejada 0-1. And then he is grounded out, that against Sonnenstein. Ryan Mattis has gone 5 innings tonight, giving up 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, and a career-high 5 walks. Markakis at first, and the pitch to Tejada. Fastball down and in, and Tejada swings over top. 0-2. Markakis on, following his single to left field. Tejada at the plate with nobody down. And in the hole now, no balls, 2 strikes. Markakis hands on knees as he takes his lead from first, being held by Pena. Ekstrom looks over the left shoulder at the Orioles runner. And now the 2-strike delivery to Tejada, and it hits him. And he is on at first base. Came inside, and Tejada is hit by the pitch. So the Orioles have runners at first and second and nobody down. Luke Scott will come up now, trying to deliver the tying run. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. And Pena over, and Bartlett in to talk to Ekstrom. Luke today has doubled in 2 at-bats. He homered in the opening game. And when he hit that home run, they measured the speed of the ball off the bat of Luke Scott. The ball traveled 452 feet, and when it left the bat, it was going 111.5 miles an hour. How they time it, I don't know. The 473-foot home run that Longoria hit went 110 miles an hour off the bat. At least so they report. Markakis singled. He's at second base. Hit by the pitch on an 0-2 pitch to Tejada at first. And now Luke downstairs, 1-0 to the Oriole left fielder tonight. Scott had been the DH in the previous 2 ball games. Tonight that role goes to Nolan Reimold, who has given the Orioles their only run so far with a home run. And Wieters on deck for the Orioles. Orioles now out hitting the Rays 5-2, but trail 2-1. Ekstrom sets. And the delivery to Scott, check swing, and a foul over toward the on-deck area. And Matt Wieters. A ball and a strike now to Luke. As I mentioned, the Orioles, for the most part, have never seen Ekstrom. Greg Tatum, the only Oriole who has ever had an at-bat against this right-hander who came over from the National League. Nick from second, Miggy from first. Luke at the plate, waving that black bat over the plate. Awaiting the 1-ball, 1-strike pitch with nobody down. Ekstrom's delivery on the way, and Scott takes it high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Infield would like to see the ground ball. The Orioles would like to see the base hit. Whether it be a ground ball, line drive. Orioles have been unable to get many key hits this season. Early this season, just the 3rd game. And the pitch on the way to Luke Scott. Ball 3 downstairs. 3-1. So outstanding hitters count now. 3 balls and 1 strike. So far the Orioles, I have them 4 for 25 with runners in scoring position to start 2010. Right now it'd be perfect to make it 5 for 26 with Luke Scott awaiting the 3-ball, 1-strike delivery. Luke taps the bat a couple of times on the shoulder, awaiting the delivery. 3-1, pitch on the way, and Scott takes it high. Bases loaded, ball 4. A single, hit batsman, and now a walk to load the bases. And Matt Wieters will come up with the runner at every base. And Shopik will go out to pay a visit to Ekstrom, and activity starts in the bullpen for the Tampa Bay Rays. Matt Wieters looking for his first hit tonight. He is 4 for 10 with a home run early in this 2010 season. Matt homered, the third of 3 in that opening game in that loss to the Rays, and that'll do it, I think, for Ekstrom, as I see Joe Madden walking slowly toward the mound. And Grant Balfour, a hard thrower, is out in the bullpen ready to come in. Madden has not yet made the move. Now he does. So we will see Grant Balfour to face Matt Wieters with the bases loaded. Inning started with Markakis singling to left. Ekstrom got ahead of Tejada, no balls, 2 strikes, but then hit him. And then Luke Scott on a 3-1 pitch walks to load the bases with nobody out. And we're going to pause now, as last season and this spring was very troublesome. 17 hits in 13 in the third innings. He had 11 strikeouts, but also 7 walks. He inherits a bases loaded situation with Matt Wieters at the plate. Pitch to the left-handed batting catcher, a strike called. Balfour has usually good heat, and when he is throwing strikes, he can be difficult, but oftentimes he is not in the strike zone. Balfour will face Wieters with the bases loaded. 1 strike. Matt, the switch hitter, has struck out and grounded out today. And the delivery to Wieters. Line drive, center field. The Orioles will at least tie as that ball goes into center field. Coming in to score is Markakis. It's a 2-2 ball game. Stopping at third, Tejada. And Matt Wieters has delivered a base hit with a runner in scoring position. Something the Orioles have had a decided problem so far in 2010. And he gets the base hit to bring in Nick Markakis. He picks up his second RBI of the season, and the Orioles have tied this ball game at 2-2. Nolan Reimold, who has homered in 2 at-bats tonight, will step in now. Balfour leans in, gets the sign from Shopik. Still the bases loaded, still no one down. And here's a fastball strike on the outside corner. Nolan Reimold, who hit 15 round trippers, gave the Orioles a 1-0 lead in the top of the third, but then Tampa Bay scored twice in the bottom of the inning. The slender right-hander sets, delivers to Reimold. The ball gets away from Shopik. Here comes Tejada to give the Orioles the 3-2 lead as the ball went into the dirt. Moving up to third base is Luke Scott, into second Wieters, and the Orioles grab the lead 3-2. Scoring twice here in the top of the 6th inning. Still nobody down. 2 in scoring position as Reimold stands at the plate. Reimold took like a half swing at that ball as it went in the dirt. And then it bounced off. Actually went right through the wickets of Kelly Shopik all the way to the backstop. And he actually hit the umpire and then bounded away. And so the Orioles get that run. Should be a pass ball.
Yeah, I agree. That's got to be a pass. That ball's got to be caught.
Yeah, that was there. It didn't hit the dirt. I was going to call a wild pitch. I don't know how.
It's ridiculous.
But the Orioles, nevertheless, have grabbed the lead.
I mean, this is the major leagues. He's got to catch that ball.
Runners, 2 of them in scoring position for Nolan Reimold. And the delivery to Nolan up and in with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shopik should have caught the ball, but thankfully he didn't, and the Orioles get the lead. Balfour sets. Here's the pitch to Reimold, and a check swing. Did he go around too far? Yes, he did. Strike 3. Pitch broke down and away, and Reimold went after it. And that's the first out. Still runners at second and third, and here's Garrett Atkins. Atkins has only 1 plate appearance in his career against Balfour, and that was a walk. Atkins has doubled in 2 at-bats tonight. It was an automatic double his last at-bat back in the 5th. We're now in the top of the 6th. Orioles 3 runs on 6 hits, 2 runs on 2 for the Rays. Scott is at third, Wieters at second. And now time requested. Ryan Mattis, despite the fact he did not have the command he usually has had through spring training, right now has the lead. And the pitch to Atkins, fastball inside. The ball and no strikes. You see Matt Albers continuing to throw in the Oriole bullpen. 97 pitches thrown tonight by Brian Mattis, giving up the 2 runs on a couple of hits, but he walked 5, striking out 7. Here's a line drive slicing down the right field line. That's in for the base hit. That will plate 2. Scott scores, Wieters scores, and Garrett Atkins delivers 2. And the Orioles here in this 6th inning have scored 4 times. They now lead the ball game over the Tampa Bay Rays by a score of 5-2. So Atkins slicing it down the right side. And the Orioles, who have had difficulty coming up with that big hit with runners in scoring position, have had a couple of them here in this inning. Helped out also by what was called a pass ball. And the Orioles lead it 5-2. Julio Lugo at the plate. Still just 1 down. And Lugo does not chase a pitch down and away. Ball 1. Lugo 0 for 2 in his Orioles debut. Lugo getting the start at shortstop tonight. Orioles trying to head home in the win column for the first time this year as they open up the 2010 home campaign at the Yards tomorrow at 3:05 against the Blue Jays. High fastball, swing and a miss. 1-1 to Julio Lugo. Grant Balfour, the 4th pitcher tonight, employed by Joe Madden in Tampa Bay. Neiman, Sonnenstein, Ekstrom, and Balfour, and now Lugo watches on way outside as Balfour has fallen behind 2-1 to Julio. Lugo hitting in the number 9 hole. Brian Roberts, who had his first hit of the season, his last at bat, an infield hit, would be next for the Orioles. Atkins, after delivering 2 with a base hit to right field at first base with 1 down. And ball downstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike. Talked about Balfour. When he is in the strike zone, he can be tough, but sometimes finds difficulty getting that ball in the strike zone. 3-1 to Julio Lugo. And the pitch to the Orioles shortstop, swinging a foul off the home plate umpire as C.B. Buckner is hit by that foul ball. Last night it was Kerwin Danley that got hit by a foul ball behind the plate off of Carl Crawford, and now C.B. Buckner is stung by a foul ball off the bat of Julio Lugo as that ball came right back, hit him right square in the mask. He wears one of those birdcage masks and knocked him back a little bit. Now Lugo comes over to talk to C.B. Buckner to make sure he's okay. Remember, after Kerwin Danley was struck by that foul ball and dazed by Carl Crawford, he then had that call of a strike 3 and a strike him out, throw him out double play that was contested. Julio Lugo goes after a pitch, I think chin high, swings and misses, strike 3 for Lugo. As Balfour came upstairs and Lugo just couldn't help himself. He went after it. For Balfour, his 2nd strikeout. And now Brian Roberts, who had the infield hit to break the 0 for 11 drought to start the season, will step in. Brian Roberts has never had a hit against Balfour. 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Roberts, of course, a switch hitter, bats from the left side against the right-hander, and a foul back on the first pitch. Balfour fastball, strike 1. Roberts is the 8th Oriole to come to the plate here in the 6th, and the Orioles have plated 4 to grab the lead for Brian Mattis. 5-2. Atkins does not take a big lead at first base with 2 down, and the pitch to Roberts just missing outside, a ball and a strike. Roberts has been on base a couple of times tonight. First time he grounded out, then he walked and stole a base in the 3rd, kind of shaken up going in on that steal, but of course stayed in the ballgame and then singled the infield, hit his next at bat, outside, ball 2. Fastball, 2 balls, 1 strike. Say fastball, actually a changeup on the delivery as Balfour came in with the motion of a fastball, but 82 on the gun and stayed outside and high. And the delivery on the way to Roberts. Sliced foul and out of play off to the left side. So Bryant continues 2 balls and 2 strikes. I mentioned the Orioles return home. They will have 3 with the Toronto Blue Jays. Then Tampa Bay comes to town, and then the Orioles take a long road trip and a coast-to-coast road trip. Oakland, Seattle, and Boston. 2-2 to Brian Roberts in the Balfour delivery, ball 3, a high fastball. Fans moan and groan here on anything within 7 inches of the plate. You hear him booing the call by C.B. Buckner. Full count to Brian Roberts, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Adam Jones would like to get a shot here in this 6th inning. Roberts is the 8th bird to the plate. Atkins with the 3-2 delivery with 2 out, off and running, and here's the pitch. Bounce towards second base. Zobrist in, digs it off the dirt, throws to first, and that's the inning. But it was a good one for the Orioles and Brian Mattis, as the Orioles went to the inning trailing 2-1 and leave the top of the 6th on top of the Tampa Bay Rays after scoring 4. It's the Orioles 5, the Rays 2 on the Orioles Radio Network. Well, Brian Mattis didn't have his best stuff tonight, but he battled, allowed just 2 runs. He did walk 5. He struck out 7. In fact, struck out the final 3 batters he faced, Shopik, Bartlett, and Crawford. He left the ball game trailing 2-1, but now, as we go to the bottom of the 6th, he leaves the ball game with a 5-2 lead, and Matt Albers takes over on the hill. Albers pitched well his first outing of the young campaign in game 1. First delivery from Albers to Ben Zobrist is taken down and in, ball 1. Matt Albers came in a jam and got a double play and a strikeout to get out of a big jam in that opening game, and a ball and a strike to Ben Zobrist. Matt Albers came on for Kevin Millwood and did a terrific job. And the delivery to Zobrist popped high and foul, third base side. Miguel Tejada racing over near the stands, but this was well out of his reach. Also Matt Wieters over. And the count now, a ball and 2 strikes. You know, Ekstrom's line for the Tampa Bay Rays, a third of an inning. It was 3 runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, and a strikeout, and a hit batsman. Then Zobrist tonight 0 for 2. Big switch hitter awaits the delivery, and oh gosh, where did that thing miss? 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brian Mattis tonight threw 97 pitches, 55 for strikes in his 5 innings. Leaves with a lead, 5-2, and the pitch to Zobrist. Albers induces a little bouncing ball to the first base side of the hill. Matt comes off the mound, picks it up, throws to first, and Zobrist is now 0 for 3. Evan Longoria will step in now for the Tampa Bay Rays. Longoria has singled, and he was then picked off at first base by Brian Mattis in the 2nd inning and then struck out against Brian. He was the 3rd of the 7 Mattis strikeouts tonight. In case you're wondering, Brian Mattis, his career high was 8. He did that on August 30th last year against the Cleveland Indians. Tonight, 7 Ks for the young left-hander. Longoria looks at strike 1. Fastball from Matt Albers. Matt, 27 years old, from Houston, Texas. Longoria 1 for 4 in his looks at Matt Albers. Pitch to the right-handed batting Gold Glove third baseman, missing inside, a ball and a strike. And the Orioles, after this ball game, immediately following, get on the charter and head to Baltimore. 3:05 tomorrow afternoon. It'll be a quick turnaround for the boys tomorrow. The 1-1 pitch to Longoria from Albers. Fly ball center field. Adam Jones cruising back. He has it in range in front of the warning track by about 5 feet. Makes the grab. And Longoria with just a long fly ball out for out number 2. Carlos Pena will get a look now at Matt Albers. Pena 1 for 5 in previous at-bats against Matt Albers. Pena tonight has struck out and hit a fly ball to the Gold Glove center fielder, Adam Jones. Orioles lead at 5-2. 2 gone in the bottom of the 6th at Tropicana Field. Orioles looking to take one of the 3 games from the Rays in this series. And a breaking ball in there for a strike. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter. Pena steps out of the box, going to adjust the batting helmet, wipe some perspiration from the forehead. Now will step back in. Matt, hands together at the belt, delivers to Pena inside. A ball and a strike. Brad Bergeson will be the Oriole opening day starter tomorrow. Brooks Robinson will be there. Boog Powell will be there. They'll throw out the ceremonial first pitches. And a sellout crowd to watch the kickoff of the home schedule for the Orioles for 2010. Just a brief homestand, 6 games, 3 against the Blue Jays and then 3 against the Rays before the road crops up again for the Orioles. 1 ball, 1 strike to Pena. Left-handed batting first baseman. And Albers tries to work the outer portion of the plate but misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 gone, bottom of the 6th. Orioles took a 1-0 lead in the 3rd on the first home run of the year by Nolan Reimold. Tampa Bay scored twice in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's the pitch to Pena. And Pena lifts a high foul out of play. In that bottom of the 3rd, started out like it was going to be a huge inning for the Rays. Back-to-back-to-back walks. Burrell, Kapler, and Shopping issued by Brian Mattis. Jason Bartlett singled in 1. Crawford a sacrifice fly to bring in the other. Ben Zobrist lifted a fly ball to left for the 2nd out, and then Evan Longoria struck out. And it was just a 2-run inning for the Rays. And that's their 2 runs tonight. The Orioles exploded for 4 in the top of the 6th. We're now in the bottom of the 6th with 2 down. 2-2 pitch on the way to Pena. Fly ball center field. Adam Jones back toward the warning track. 1 step on the warning track, reaches up and makes the grab. So 2 deep fly balls to center field. Longoria and Pena both stay in the ball yard. And Albers works a 1-2-3 bottom of the 6th. We head to the 7th inning. Orioles 5, Rays 2 on the Orioles Radio Network. Well, Adam Jones to try to start things off again for the Orioles. They sent 8 men to the plate in the 6th and scored 4 times. Balfour is the 4th pitcher for the Rays tonight. Neiman, Sonnenstein, Ekstrom, and then Balfour. Neiman had to leave the ballgame after being hit on the right shoulder on a line drive off the bat of Miguel Tejada. Here's a breaking ball in for a strike to Adam. Jones tonight 0 for 3. A couple of fly balls to center field and a strikeout. And the Balfour delivery to Adam is downstairs, a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jones, Markakis, and Tejada for the Orioles. And Balfour's pitch to Adam. Fly ball, center field. B.J. Upton will cruise back. And he will make the grab, angling toward the warning track in left center field. Jones gave it a ride, but not far enough. And Jones 3 times tonight in 4 at-bats has hit a fly ball to his Rays counterpart, B.J. Upton. So Adams 0 for 4. Nick Markakis will step in. Markakis on a 3-2 pitch in the 6th. Lined a soft single to left field to start things off for the Orioles. And they went on to score 4 times in the 6th inning. Balfour's delivery downstairs to the left-handed batter. For Nick, just his 2nd hit this young season. Balfour, a left-handed pitcher. Markakis, I should say Balfour, a right-handed pitcher, and Markakis, a left-handed batter. And here's a pitch. It's a little bit too high. 2-1 to Nick. Balfour stands square to the plate as he gets the sign, then twists and turns and delivers way outside ball 3. Looking at the past numbers, Nick Markakis 0 for 1, but he has walked twice facing Balfour. Balfour's 3-ball, no strike offering to Markakis. It comes right down the middle, 3-1. Markakis out of the box briefly, and now steps back in. And the 3-1 pitch, and Nick offers at it and fouls it out of play off to the left side. Grant Balfour from Sydney, Australia, now lives in the Clearwater area. As we mentioned, in 2008, when the Rays went to the World Series, he was sensational. 1.54 ERA, 82 strikeouts in 51 1/3 innings. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Nick. Ground ball toward the middle. To his right is the second baseman, Zobrist. He backhands, picks it up, and throws the first out, number 2.
I always thought that Grant Balfour had a very interesting name for a pitcher, because if you add one L, it's ball 4.
Yeah, he doesn't like to hear that.
No, not good.
And now here's Miguel Tejada. Tejada fell behind in the 6th. He was 0-2, and then Ekstrom hit him. And that sent Orioles with runners at first and second, and then a walk to Luke Scott, and things got good for the Orioles after that. Here's a ground ball toward the middle again. Zobrist will backhand his crossbody throw, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Balfour against the Orioles here in the 7th. A couple of ground balls to the second baseman and a fly ball to center field. We head to the bottom of inning number 7 at the Trop. Orioles 5, Rays 2 on the Orioles Radio Network.
Hey, baseball fans.
Hi, this is Ed Norris. Join me every weekday morning.
Youngster didn't have his best stuff tonight, but he gutted it out. He left when he left the mound. The score was Tampa Bay 2, Orioles 1. But as he watched in the top of the 6th, the Orioles scored 4 times and lead this ball game 5-2. Matt Albers came on last inning, went 1-2-3 against the Rays lineup. B.J. Upton leading off here in the 7th. Did he go after that pitch that was upstairs? And no, ball 1. As that pitch was up and in, and Upton kind of went around, but they say it was inside and no swing. The 1-0 delivery to the right-handed batter. Upton swings and misses this time. A ball and a strike.
You know, Fred, I'm thinking about Brian Mattis and the way his game progressed. And I'm thinking, he only gave up 2 hits. So I think maybe his stuff was too good. I mean, he didn't have his usual command. He had difficulty throwing strikes.
Here's the 1-1 pitch just inside.
So maybe the ball was moving too much for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he went to so many 3-ball, 2-strike counts. And he walked 5.
Yeah, but he only gave up 2 hits.
Yeah. And here's the 2-1 delivery on the way to Upton. Swing and a miss as Upton goes after a pitch shoulders high to even the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, think about Mattis. I mean, he found a way to give up just 2 runs.
Right. Well, in the first inning, he walked the second batter he faced and then picked off Carl Crawford. Longoria led off the second with a base hit. He was picked off. Upton swings and misses, strike 3. So Matt Albers has faced 4 Rays tonight and retired all 4. Remember, in the first game, he came on and did a terrific job. Last year, Matt Albers was up and down, not only in the way he pitched the big league level, but between Norfolk and the Orioles 4 times.
Well, so far this year, Albers has been bad Albers.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bad man so far. He's been looking real good.
Pat Burrow will look at the first pitch upstairs.
He's lost some weight, too. You know,
yes, he has.
Shape.
Well, I remember sitting in talking to Dave Tremblay in late September. Well, what will Matt Albers have to do? And the first thing he said, well, he has to get in shape.
There you go, yeah. Well, he did.
Yeah. And the 1-0 pitch downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Oftentimes, a player's given a warning and, and doesn't do anything about it. But Matt came into spring training looking real good.
Well, opening day, he looked real good. He threw the heck out of the ball, and likewise again here tonight.
Here's the 2-0 delivery, and Burrow watches it outside, just off the plate. 3 balls and no strikes. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning as the Orioles wrap up the first series of 2010. They're ahead 5-2. 1 gone. Brian Mattis went 5 innings, gave up a couple of runs on 2 hits, 7 strikeouts, 5 walks. And the fastball on the inside corner, Burrow thought it was ball 4, but it's called a strike. To tell you how the night went for Brian Mattis, 97 pitches over 5 innings, 55 for strikes, 3-1. And the Albers delivery to Burrow, swing and a miss as Burrow gave that big uppercut home run type swing. And it was a fastball at 93, and he didn't catch up with it. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Now, television, they had him at 95.
Burrow,
everything looks better on television.
Yeah, it does. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 inside. So the first base runner that Albers has allowed. And Burrow goes down, and now Gabe Kapler is scheduled, but it will not be Kapler. It'll be Reed Brignac.
Hitting for Gabe Kapler.
In last night's ball game, Brignac had a couple of base hits and scored a run. Brignac had a terrific spring and received the award prior to tonight's game for being the outstanding Ray this spring. Brignac is a left-handed hitter. Gabe Kapler a right-handed batter. And the pitch to Brignac, it's in there for a strike one. Kapler walked and scored and then lined out softly to the third baseman, Miguel Tejada. Deanna Navarro would pinch hit for Kelly Shopik. One out. But right now, Matt Albers would like to induce the ground ball double play. At double play anyway. Here's a swing and a miss by Brignac as he cuts through it 0-2.
Well, that's interesting. Joe Madden going to bring in his backup catcher or his other catcher as a pinch hitter. And if something happens, I mean, it's only the seventh inning. If something happens, he doesn't have a catcher.
Yep. Well, Navarro, the switch hitter, would bat from the left side. But as you point out, in an emergency, who would go behind the plate? 0-2. And Brignac awaits the pitch. Outside, he doesn't chase.
Will Oman up in the Orioles bullpen.
Well, Will Oman has done a nice job for the Orioles, up and throwing in the bullpen. Jim Johnson with that tender elbow. Dave Tremblay said before the ball game that Jim Johnson would be able to go if needed. We'll see.
We'll see in the eighth inning, right?
Yep. Here's the 1-2 pitch all the way. A line drive, base hit, right field. Brignac connects. Going to third base is Burrell, and runners at first and third for the Rays in the bottom of the seventh with one out. And the switch hitting catcher, Deanna Navarro, on deck, has not yet been announced. But Navarro will come to the plate. So a walk and a single. And with one down, runners at the corners for the Tampa Bay Rays. And Deanna Navarro will step in. Navarro's had good numbers against Matt Albers. He's had 3 hits and 7 at-bats against Matt. And the left-hander Oman continues to throw in the Oriole bullpen. And right now, Navarro steps out of the box. Shopik, by the way, walked and struck out in his at-bats. And the pitch to the switch-hitting Navarro. It's over the plate and over the knees and in there. Strike one.
Well, Dave Tremblay could have forced Navarro to hit right-handed if he brought in Oman.
So far this season, Navarro's had a couple of hits and 3 at-bats. All as a left-handed batter. And the delivery from the right-hander Matt Albers. And Navarro takes it over the plate, but it's downstairs to even the count of the ball and a strike. Of course, Navarro had a terrible year last year after a very good year when things went right for a lot of Tampa Bay Rays in 2008. Navarro, an all-star that year. And the Albers throw over to first base. Getting back is Brignac, who came in as a pinch hitter and delivered in that 8th spot for Gabe Kapler. Burrell is at third. Brignac at second base.
The righty Clay Meredith joins the
And Clay Meredith has also gotten up in the Oriole bullpen, so a righty and a lefty throwing for the Birds. Albers, 1-1 to Navarro, cued off the end of the bat. Tejada will have it. Go to second for one, and that's what they get. But Miguel, charging that slow hit ball to the third base side of the mound, came up and then kind of shoveled it to Brian Roberts to get Brignac at second for the second out. But coming in to score from third base is Burrell. It's now a 2-run Orioles lead at 5-3. Wouldn't you know it, the guy who walked comes in to score. And that goes 5-4 on the fielder's choice, and the run comes in. But Brignac is erased, and Navarro is now at first base with 2 down for Jason Bartlett.
Dan Wheeler joins Choate in the Rays bullpen.
Choate, the left-hander, and the right-hander Wheeler throwing for Tampa Bay in their pen. And the pitch to Bartlett is a strike, a high strike call, 0-1. Bartlett has had a base hit and an RBI in 3 at-bats tonight. Bartlett with a couple on the year. Bartlett 2 for 6 in past appearances against Matt Albers. Lines it toward right center field. Over and making the grab is Oriole right fielder Nick Markakis for the final out. A run comes across the plate for the Rays here in the bottom of the seventh. We head to the eighth inning. Orioles ahead by 2, 5-3 on the Orioles Radio Network. Well, don't forget, Oriole Park is the perfect setting for your next group outing. Gather up your family and friends, co-workers, colleagues, and enjoy a fun-filled night of Orioles baseball. With ticket options that fit any price range and party facilities to fit any group from 12 to 1,000 fans. Oriole Park can make your group outing an experience that you and your friends will never forget. Call the Orioles at 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. Well, some changes for the Tampa Bay Rays as we go to the eighth inning. Some changes at the microphone as we turn it over to Joe Angel.
All right, big boy, thank you. Well, the lumberjack is coming up to hit for the Orioles here. Luke Scott against left-hander Randy Choate. He comes on to pitch. We saw him on opening night. And he came on, and in that game, out of the bullpen, he went 1 1/3 and gave up nothing, and he had 1 strikeout. Also got a double play ball, so pitch on the way to Scott, and a swing and a miss at a ball that may have been on top of the dirt. So they count 0-1. Luke in this game had a double, a walk, a run scored, and a ground out. So he's gone 1 for 2. Tampa Bay defensively now with Longoria and Bartlett on the left side of the infield. Brignac and Pena on the right side. Navarro now doing the catching. Crawford in left, Upton in center, and Zobrist is now in right field for Tampa Bay. Orioles are ahead 5-3 here, just getting started, top of the eighth inning. Randy Choate, veteran left-hander. He's been around a while. 34 years of age. Been around about 10 years now with the Rays, Arizona, and also with the Yankees at one time. Here's the 0-1 delivery, a little bit low on a breaking ball. Even up 1-1 to Luke Scott. In the opener, he struck out Nick Markakis, and he got Miguel Tejada to ground into a double play. He had a great spring. He had a 1.13 ERA in the spring training games. Scott off the hands, the ball fisted foul. Little bounder off to the right. Last year, Randy Choate was in a total of 61 games. To give you an idea of, you talk about a specialist left-hander. He appeared last year in 61 games, and in 29 of them, he faced only one hitter. Here's the pitch. Scott takes a breaking ball. Strike 3 called, and Luke is shaking his head. He is totally befuddled by that call. It looked like it was maybe 10 inches inside. The big bender. And on the replay, it looked like a good call.
Yeah, looked like at that very last moment got the plate. Well, Randy Choate, last year, lefties hit just 141 against him. However, when he had to face right-handed batters, as he will face Matt Wieters now, they hit over 300 against him.
Of course, Wieters is a switch hitter, so he'll hit right-handed. Orioles are ahead 5-3. One away with the bases empty in the top of the eighth inning. Wieters 1 for 3 tonight. He takes it a little bit too low. Remember, his last time up in the sixth inning, his single knocked in a run. So Wieters in the series has now gone 5 for 11 with a home run. Here comes the 1-0 delivery. This one low and inside at Wieters' feet, and the count 2-0.
On the Oriole bullpen, Jim Johnson throwing, but also left-hander Will Oman has also gotten up, and Carl Crawford, a left-handed batter, scheduled to lead off for the Rays in the eighth.
Jim Johnson unable to pitch last night because of a tender elbow, a little tightness in the elbow, but it's okay today. Dave Tremblay said before the game today that he could use him. Wieters' big swing and a foul ball, and a ball that jammed him a little bit. The count 2-1. Will Oman, the veteran left-hander, if you've seen him, you know what I'm talking about. But every time I see Will Oman, I feel like getting him a beer. He's one of those old-fashioned looking kind of ball players, but a very effective left-hander. he has a good time. There's a liner, and there's a diving catch by Crawford as he came racing in toward the infield. Oh, he trapped it. Now they say he trapped it. And he guns it back into second base, so Wieters does get the base hit. And now Joe Madden is going to come out to argue. Crawford came racing in toward the infield and then diving straight ahead toward the infield. It looked to me like he caught the ball. Well, he certainly sold it. But then the second base umpire, Dana DeMuth, ruled that he had trapped it. And on the replay, it looks to me like Crawford did catch the ball.
Yes, he did. I didn't see that ball hit the turf at all. Looked like a clean catch on the dive by Crawford, and DeMuth blew the call.
Well, Crawford's still arguing, so is Joe Madden, and it's a very tough call because he caught the ball as he dived straight ahead. He caught the ball in the webbing of the glove. That's where the ball disappeared. So I can see where to the umpire from that angle might have thought that he trapped it. But the replay clearly shows that Crawford caught the ball.
And, of course, we on the replay have the benefit of a slow-mo and everything else, and the umpire has to make that call instantly. And he has to be right, at least in his eyes, and he says it was a trap. And Matt Wieters says, thank you very much, as Wieters picks up his second hit tonight.
Well, I think Wieters is saying to himself, hey, I deserve to get a hit. I hit that thing hard. Now, there is instant replay in baseball, but only for home runs.
So Wieters has had multi-hit games in all three of his opening games this year.
Well, how many did Dempsey have when he started?
I thought that was back-to-back. I'll have to check that about Mr. Dempsey. Because the record was, 5 Orioles had started their season with multi-hit games in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Now, hey, Dan Wheeler's coming in, the right-hander now.
Joe Madden has ended his argument, and he stays out there to make a pitching change. So that will do it for Randy Choate. And the right-hander Dan Wheeler comes on to pitch. Got a pitching change here in St. Pete.
We'll be at the Trop. Orioles with a 5-3 lead after a contested call. Matt Wieters gets the base hit. Looked like Crawford made the catch on a dive, but the second base umpire Dana ruled no, a trap. And the Orioles have Matt Wieters at first base. And by the way, don't forget, next Tuesday, the Rays will be in Baltimore, and it'll be the first T-shirt Tuesday of the year, and it'll be Matt Wieters T-shirt Tuesday. Tickets start as low as $8. Call the Orioles at 8888-48-BIRD or visit Orioles.com. Well, Wheeler on, and we'll see what happens here. The fans had a joy last night booing the umpires. Tonight they start, and let's get back to Joe Angel.
And Mr. Manfra, thank you. Reimold out there with a man on and one down. Right-hander Dan Wheeler. Reimold's got a big gap in right center. And they're also giving Reimold the right field corner. They play him to pull the ball. Reimold takes a low and outside a ball. Reimold, his first time up tonight, a shot. Hit a bases empty home run. He is 1 for 3. Since that home run, he has flied to center and he has struck out. Right-hander against right-hander. Dan Wheeler, veteran right-hander, looks in, standing tall. Reimold digs in. Wheeler sets at the belt and delivers 1-0. Little bouncing ball hit to third. Longoria, he'll go to second 1. And the relay by Brignac is too late to get the double play as Matt Wieters ran into the second baseman Brignac. The relay just a shade late. They do get the lead runner. Reimold is going to be safe on a fielder's choice. Wieters is retired 5-4. And now it's up to Atkins to extend the inning. Well, good to see Reimold. And we saw him in the game the other day, too, and he was able to beat out that double play relay.
And then, of course, last night out in left field, even Dave Tremblay was talking about, well, you know, that first step may not be as good as it was last year before the Achilles surgery. And, of course, I know Nolan thinking about maybe a couple of balls that got by him that he might have caught last year had he been 100% healthy.
All right, here's Garrett Atkins with 2 outs. Pitch on the way. Fastball in there for a called strike. Atkins, for the Orioles here tonight, has been the offensive star of this game. With a couple of hits, a double, and a big single to drive in 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning. And for the Orioles, those hits with runners in scoring position have been few and far between early this season, so that was a huge hit. Now the 0-1 delivery. Atkins had ideas, but he takes a call strike. And the count 0-2 now. Dan Wheeler, a veteran at the age of 32, he had an outstanding spring. A 1.69 ERA in those spring games. Wheeler, who the last few years, has been very busy out of the bullpen. Here comes the 0-2 delivery. This one bounces in, gets past the catcher. Navarro couldn't flag it down. A wild pitch. And Reimold is going to take second base and get himself into scoring position here.
Yeah, last year Dan Wheeler picked up a couple of saves. He had a 3.28 ERA. And in 2008, he was outstanding. He was called upon 13 times to make a save in a ball game. And, of course, Troy Percival the last couple of seasons with those injuries, and that's why Wheeler was sometimes called upon to close out ball games.
Well, he's always been very tough to hit, but I'm wondering what he was trying to do on that last pitch. I mean, he threw that thing about 40 feet. Now the 1-2 delivery in the dirt again. Remember that previous pitch actually landed on the artificial turf along the edge of the hitting circle. So he had to throw that ball, I would say maybe, 45 feet.
Yeah. I wonder if he had that real tight grip to throw the breaking ball, and
the ball stuck to his hand. Yeah. Atkins, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at second base. Orioles are ahead 5-3 in the top of the 8th inning. Atkins digs in. Wheeler will check the runner. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way. Low and outside. Ball 3. And that time Wheeler didn't miss by much, but he did miss. So 3-2 now to Garrett Atkins. Atkins waiting on a 3-2 pitch. Wheeler standing tall, looks in and says yes. Reimold out there at second base with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. He'll take the call, strike 3. Atkins thought it was low and outside, but that time Buckner gave him the corner, and that's it. No runs a hit. They leave 1. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 5-3 Orioles here on the Orioles Radio Network. All right, here's the down on the farm scoreboard from Royal Farms. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms. Well, in the 8th inning, Durham leads Norfolk by a score of 5-2. That was a game that Chris Tillman started. He went 4 innings, gave up a couple of runs on 5 hits. He had a walk and 5 strikeouts. Ross Wolf also pitched. In that game, Joey Gathright 0 for 2, although he knocked in a run with a sac fly. Josh Bell was 0 for 3, and Lou Montañez 0 for 3. Bowie with a 1-0 lead over Richmond. That game, by the way, right now suspended in the 5th inning. Here's Crawford to lead off against left-hander Will Oman, who delivers ball 1. And the Frederick Lynchburg game was rained out. So that brings you up to date on our minor league scoreboard.
Well, Oman and Crawford have faced each other in each game of this series, and each time Oman has gotten him.
Oman delivers again, a little breaking ball. Big one-hopper to first base. Right there is Atkins. He'll make a U-turn and get the out himself. So that time he had Crawford very much on the front foot. Meanwhile, right-hander Jim Johnson has been warming up in the bullpen, so that will do it for Will Oman. So it means that Ben Zobrist will have to hit left-handed here. After that, Longoria will come up to hit. For the Orioles ahead 5-3. Got a pitching change. Back with more play-by-play after this.
Hey, baseball fans, Paul Sura here to tell you about PlayStation's MLB 10 The Show.
Washington 6, Philadelphia 5. It was Chicago over Atlanta tonight, 2-0 as Hanson, the loser, Wells, the winner. 2-0 Cubs over Atlanta. Here the Orioles with their 2-run lead. Let's get back to Joe.
All right, Fred, thank you. Ben Zobrist up there now against right-hander Jim Johnson. We saw Jim on opening day and threw very well. Zobrist takes outside the ball. He came out of the bullpen in the 8th inning, got him 1-2-3. He got Longoria on a strikeout. He got Pena on a ground out, and he got B.J. Upton on a ground ball. So a job well done. And after that, his elbow came up a little tender and was not able to pitch in the ball game last night, but right back at it tonight. And there's a called strike to Zobrist, so the count even up at 1-1. Zobrist tonight's 0 for 3. Here comes the pitch. Just off the outside corner. Close, but a ball.
And Jim had that very good first outing after a not-so-hot spring training.
Yeah.
But he is back in that role that he's very comfortable in, that eighth inning role.
And now the 2-1 delivery. Outside, ball 3, 3-1. Well, early in the season, of course, Jim Johnson, as we mentioned, his spring was very mediocre. Here comes the 3-1 delivery. Swung on, fouled away, out of play. And the count 3-2. So it's early in the season, and the pitcher tells you that his elbow is a bit tight. You know, it always makes you kind of worry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's never a good thing, but good to see Jim Johnson just miss one game, really. Could have used him last night. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. There's a shot out toward right side. It's a base hit. It's on the carpet. It's going to be extra bases. It's up to the wall. Zobrist turning second. He's heading for third. And here's a no relay. Lugo will hold the relay. And Zobrist slides in with a triple here in the bottom of the eighth inning. Man, that ball was smoked.
The throw from the outfield sailed over Brian Roberts' head to Lugo, and by the time Lugo got it, he had no throw at third base. So here's a dangerous Evan Longoria. Tired of seeing him come to the plate.
And it seems like every time he comes up, there are men on base. Longoria tonight 1 for 3, a single, a strikeout, and a fly ball out. So Johnson delivers, and Longoria hits a ground ball, base hit left field. Zobrist comes in to score. Up at the ball is Scott. He'll get it back into second base, and Longoria gets it done again. It is now a one-run game. 5-4 Orioles. And now it'll bring up Carlos Pena.
Well, for Longoria, already his 5th RBI of the season.
I hate that guy. I mean, I'd love to put an Oriole uniform on him, but I hate that guy.
Yeah.
And now here's Pena.
And here's a guy you kind of hold your breath when he comes to the plate, because with one swing of the bat, he could give the Rays the lead.
Well, Carlos Pena is 0 for 3 in this game, a strikeout and a couple of fly ball outs. Meanwhile, right-hander Clay Meredith has begun to warm up in the bullpen as Jim Johnson has given up a triple and a single to the only two men he has faced here. So Pena, a left-hand hitter. Jim Johnson looking for a double play ball here. And the Orioles defensively again got that shift on against Pena with 3 infielders to the right of second base. Orioles ahead 5-4. Johnson looks in, and he is ready. Comes the pitch. In the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. And the outfield against Pena is really spread out. Luke Scott, though, is giving Pena the left field corner. Pena standing just outside the batter's box, and now the dangerous left-hand hitter begins to dig in. Bit of an open stance. Johnson looks in, and the right-hander says yes. He'll set, he'll look at first, and now delivers. Pena takes a little bit low. Looked like a breaking ball, a slider, for the count 2-0. Well, on opening day, except for Mike Gonzalez, the Oriole bullpen was marvelous. Johnson behind Pena, 2 balls and no strikes. Right now, this is rather ominous. Here's the 2-0 delivery. Bouncing ball toward right side. Roberts has it. He'll go to second for 1, but he juggled the ball initially. They do get the lead runner, but the juggle by Brian Roberts cost him any chance to maybe get a double play. Now, I don't think the way the ball was hit that he would have gotten the double play, but when he double clutched it a bit as he went to make an underhand toss to get the out at second base, well, it may have cost him.
In the scorebook, that'll go 4-5 because of that shift being on. And, yeah, Brian almost lost the handle down around the knees as he was racing towards second base. But as you say, I don't think they'd have gotten the double play anyway. But they did get the lead runner, the important lead runner. And now Rick Kranitz is going to come out to talk to Jim Johnson and Matt Wieters.
Well, B.J. Upton is coming out to hit. Meredith continues to warm up in the Oriole bullpen, so this could be a maneuver by Kranitz to give him a little more time to get loose. We're going to pause here 10 seconds. Station identification on the Orioles radio network.
W.J. Norris in the morning and sports talk all day.
Joe Angel, Fred Manfra back in St. Pete. We're on the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, what do you know? Another one-run game here. Orioles are ahead 5-4, but here's B.J. Upton, who tonight 0 for 2 with a base on balls. And he takes a little bit low for ball 1.
Now, B.J. Upton has never had a hit against Jim Johnson. They've gone head-to-head 6 times, 0 for 6 for Upton.
He does have a couple of hits in the series, but none tonight. Upton stands in. Johnson looks at first and now delivers. Swung on and fouled away off of Wieters, it looked like. So the count even up at 1-1. Johnson throwing about 93. Has seen one at 91 and a breaking ball at about 87. Rick Kranitz and Dave Tremblay conversing in the Oriole dugout. Upton waits on a 1-1 pitch. And here it comes. Oh, look out. Upton kind of leaning backward as that ball ran up and in on him with a count 2-1.
Yeah, that was a ball that had spin but not a lot of break to it and just stayed tight.
B.J. Upton, who can be dangerous. Remember last year he hit for the cycle in a game against the Yankees. He hit for the cycle. I think it was early October last year. Well, pop up here. Third base. Miguel Tejada says, I got it. Near the coaching box, Tejada makes the catch and the side retired. Jim Johnson gets a big out. So at the end of 8, the Orioles hang on to a 1-run lead. We head to the 9th inning as 5-4 Baltimore on the Orioles radio network. All right, here we go. Here come the Orioles now. Top of the 9th inning. We got Lugo to lead off. And then the top of the order, Brian Roberts and Adam Jones against right-hander Dan Wheeler. Orioles are ahead 5-4. Lugo's 0 for 3 in his Oriole debut. Hits a ground ball up the middle behind second base. Right there, Bartlett has it. He slings it to first, and he gets him by half a step. Boy, Lugo is retired. Nicely done there by Bartlett, as one shortstop takes care of the other one.
Certainly feel a lot more comfortable if the Orioles can add a run or two here in this top of the 9th against this Tampa Bay ball club.
Well, they've lost a couple of tough one-run games already in the series. This is another one-run game. Right now it's in the Oriole favor. But that was the case on opening night when left-hander Mike Gonzalez came out to get the save. And not only blew that save, he also took the loss. And Mike Gonzalez is out there warming up as we speak. And now Roberts up there, he takes ball 1. Brad Roberts finally got a hit tonight. And he also got a base on ball, so he's been on base a couple of times. He's also had a stolen base. And the game tonight's gone 1 for 3. Wheeler is ready at the belt and delivers. Roberts swings away, popped it foul out of play. So it's 1-1 now to Brian Roberts. After the game, we'll be heading out to the airport, jumping on a plane. Yes, we're leaving on a jet plane. Just like Peter, Paul, and Mary. And we'll be getting into Baltimore, about 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, 2:30. Well, probably later than that now.
So by the time the guys get home, here's the 1-1 delivery. Roberts will take low and inside. And by the time you get to the ballpark, it'll be about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then you wait for luggage. That takes about a half hour, 40 minutes.
4 o'clock.
And then you drive and you get home maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then opening afternoon tomorrow at 3:05 is game time. So there'll be a few wake-up calls. Here's the 2-1 delivery. There's the line drive past the diving first baseman. And Brian Roberts, maybe an extra base hit, racing for second base. Up the ball is Zobrist, and the throw is too late. Roberts slides in safely. Brian Roberts, where have you been? I've been worried sick. I think he got here.
Yeah, he got here today. 56 of those 2-baggers last year, the first one of the 2010 season.
So now Jones has a chance to pick up a big RBI in the ninth inning. Boy, Roberts turned on it, hit that ball just inside the bag at first base. Carlos Pena diving toward the foul line, couldn't get to it. And by the time Zobrist got to it, Roberts had himself a two-bagger. Something we got very accustomed to last year, Brian Roberts. All those doubles. Now here's Adam Jones. He's 0 for 4, so he's due tonight. Wheeler. Roberts dancing off the back at second base. Wheeler holds the ball and now backs off the rubber, forcing Roberts to get back to the bag.
And Brian trying to distract, divide the attention of the pitcher, and he does that so well with those dance moves out around the bag at second base.
Yeah,
Wheeler bit.
Moves like that, he ought to be on Dancing with the Stars. I think he'd win. Pitch on the way to Mr. Jones. One ball past him out behind second base. Up with the ball is Brignac. He'll got to go to first base to get the out, as Roberts will go to third. Boy, that ball hit right back toward the mound on the third base side. And by the time the second baseman, Brignac, got to the ball, he was on the third base side of second base.
Almost sounded like it was hit off the very top of the bat with that kind of corkscrew action as it went out there.
Yeah, Minnesota Fats would have been proud of that one. Let's just say the ball was not hit real hard. So now here's Nick Markakis. Can he get a big hit in a one-run game? He cannot, because he's going to be walked intentionally.
Well, Nick 2 for 4 with a home run in the past against Wheeler. He'd rather face Miguel Tejada, who's in the on-deck area.
Well, let's see if Miguel Tejada takes this personally. They're walking Markakis to get to Miguel Tejada, a guy who had 199 hits last year in the National League and led the league in doubles. Miguel Tejada hit over 300 last year. He had 46 doubles last year, led the league. By the way, Tejada in the National League last year was the hardest guy to strike out. He was the toughest strikeout in the National League last year. But he was also the second toughest to walk in the National League last year.
Maybe he didn't get to that two-strike count very often. He was swinging.
But he put the ball in play all the time. So here we go. Miguel Tejada with runners on first and third. Orioles ahead 5-4 in the top of the ninth inning. Right-hander against right-hander. Miggy digs in. The right-hander, Dan Wheeler, is trying to keep Brian Roberts at third base with 2 outs. Wheeler says yes. Tejada will cock the bat. And here comes the pitch. Low for ball 1.
Now, it's been a few years since Miggy and Dan Wheeler have gone toe-to-toe, so to speak. And in the past, Tejada has homered against Wheeler, 2 for 8.
Tejada did have 1 triple last year. Of course, Miggy does not run like he used to. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Low and outside, ball 2. So 2-0.
Yeah, he had those 46 doubles.
Yeah. Led the league.
Yeah.
Well, Scott is lurking in the on-deck circle. So they walked the lefty Markakis to get to the right-hander. And now Wheeler can't throw Tejada a strike with a count 2-0. Putting Tejada into a great hitter's count here. And let's see if Wheeler gives in to Tejada with a fastball here. Count 2-0. Wheeler at the belt. Looks at third. Here comes the pitch. Fastball drilled out toward right center. On the run, Zobrist. He'll get there. Makes the catch in the gap. So again, Tejada hit the ball hard, but he couldn't find a hole out there. And so the Orioles leave a couple of runners. And boy, that was an awfully big run out there at third base. So now Mike Gonzalez will get one more chance here tonight as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning with the Orioles ahead 5-4. This is the Orioles Radio Network. Well, let's hope tonight the prayer is answered. He'll go to work on Pat Burrell to get the bottom of the ninth inning started. Gonzalez delivers a fastball that missed by 2 feet. So the count, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, Tuesday night in the opener, he faced Pat Burrell to start the bottom of the ninth, and Burrell struck out swinging.
Well, on Tuesday it was the bottom of the order, and again tonight it's the bottom of the order. And now it's swinging a foul back out of play.
And Sean Rodriguez comes on deck. He'll pinch hit for Brignac.
One and one to Pat Burrell. Yeah, when he struck out Burrell on Tuesday, it looked good. In a 1-run game, you get that first hitter. But, of course, ultimately it didn't turn out too well. Here comes the 1-1 delivery. Burrell takes the ball up and away, ball 2.
Well, Burrell, and they've gone head-to-head in the National League several times, 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts against Mike Gonzalez.
And now the left-hander with a 2-1 delivery on the way. Burrell will take a strike. That time at about 80 miles an hour off speed. Caught the knees on the outside, so it is now 2-2. Burrell tonight, a couple of walks and a strikeout. Each time he has walked, he has scored. And now the 2-2 delivery. Swung on and fouled away, another breaking ball. And it looked to me like he hung it. It looked to me like a pretty good pitch to hit. And Pat Burrell got under it too much. He'd love to see that pitch again. That was not in a good location. And now the left-hander with that rocking windup, and here comes. And this one is another breaking ball that looked like it slipped out of his hand, and he missed by a couple of feet. Up and away, Wieters had to jump up to make that catch. So the count 3-2. You look at Mike Gonzalez, every time he makes a pitch, it is full effort. Now the left-hander with a 3-2 pitch on the way, and he gets him looking. And he got him with a breaking ball. It was a borderline pitch, and C.B. Buckner gave it to him to get a big strikeout.
And Pat Burrell had made the jab step toward first base. We watch on television, and it was just on the border of being a strike, and the Orioles got the call.
Well, he said it was a borderline call, and yeah, that was one that could have gone either way, and it went the Oriole way. And yeah, it'll bring up, this is Sean Rodriguez, the pinch hit.
Yeah.
He will pinch hit for Brignac with 1 out, bases empty in a 1-run game, bottom of the 9th inning. And the fastball is in there for a call strike.
Remember, it was Rodriguez that started things in the bottom of the 9th for the Rays against Gonzalez. He singled, and then Shopik with that big pinch hit 2-bagger.
And now the 0-1 delivery popped him up right side, back of the plate. Wieters is coming back, but he's not going to have enough room. So the count 0-2. Final scores, National League today. The Cubs finally won a ball game. They beat Atlanta by a score of 2-0. Florida beat the Mets 3-1. Cincinnati over St. Louis 2-1. Matt Holliday hit a home run. The Dodgers won. They beat the Pirates 10-2. Washington beat the Phillies 6-5. Fastball is up and away. It is 1-2 now to Sean Rodriguez. And in the American League, in the bottom of the 7th inning, Cleveland leads the White Sox 2-1. In the first inning, Minnesota 0. The Angels now hitting. Here comes the pitch. Way outside the ball. So now 2-2. Earlier today, the Blue Jays beat Texas 3-1. In that game, by the way, Vernon Wells, another home run. Wells already with 4 home runs this season. My goodness. 2-2 the count. Here comes the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? They appeal. They got him. They got him. Doug Edding says he swung at it. So Rodriguez has struck out. He tried to check it. Out number 2. Replay. Honestly, it could have gone either way. So the strike to Burrell could have gone either way. It went the Oriole way. The check swing could have gone either way. It went the Oriole way. Maybe the worm is turning. What do you think?
Well, let's hope as Navarro will get his second at bat.
So the left-hander Mike Gonzalez delivers, and Navarro takes one a little bit too high for a ball. Also in the American League, it was Detroit winning over Kansas City 7-3, and it was Oakland over Seattle 6-2, and that brings you up to date. Here's the windup by Gonzalez. And again, that double racking motion. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Breaking ball. He takes it down at his feet for the count 2-0. Now, Navarro did not start the game tonight. He came on as a pinch hitter back in the 7th inning. And his ground ball drove in a run, a fielder's choice. Gonzalez, here comes the 2-0 delivery. Too high for a ball. The count 3-0. On deck is Jason Bartlett. So the top of the order coming up next. Gonzalez looking for redemption tonight. Here comes the pitch. And Navarro takes it all the way for a called strike. Orioles ahead 5-4 in the bottom of the 9th inning with the bases empty and 2 down. Mike Gonzalez on Tuesday, the blown save and a loss on opening night. Tonight trying to redeem himself as the left-hander delivers 3-1, and he walked him. Well, somehow you knew it was not going to be easy.
And here's a dangerous guy, Jason Bartlett, the MVP in that 2008 season, a .320 hitter last year for the Rays, an RBI single tonight in 4 at-bats.
Well, with Mike Gonzalez, if you look at his history, it's never easy.
Yeah.
The pitch on the way to Bartlett. Breaking ball, line, base hit left field. That ball hit right between Tejada and Lugo. Luke Scott gets it back into third base. So now the Rays have the tying run at second base with 2 outs. And now Crawford is coming up to hit. And remember, he was the hero on Tuesday night in this very same situation in the bottom of the 9th inning. And now Rick Kranitz is coming out for a visit.
Yeah, Rick Kranitz will make the visit. And the Orioles may be fortunate that the slow-footed Navarro is the lead runner in this sequence and not Bartlett. But right now it's a dangerous situation with Crawford coming to the plate. Remember, he signaled the right field to drive in 2 that won it in the bottom of the 9th on Tuesday. Actually, they gave him a double after the game, but it was the big base hit.
Well, Joe Madden could pinch run for Navarro, but then he wouldn't have a catcher.
Right, because he does
have Willie Ibar on the bench, but you can't do it. So now here's Crawford, who in this game has gone 0 for 2 with a walk and a sacrifice fly. Left-hander against left-hander. Here comes the pitch. This one is low and inside, ball 1. Looked like a changeup there, or maybe a real slow breaking ball. And now Gonzalez ready again. He'll check the runner at second base, Navarro. And now the left-hander delivers. Low and outside. And the count 2-0. And I think Gonzalez thought he had the corner. But he does not get the call. So now 2-0. And the left-hander again sets. And here it comes. Crawford swings and he chops it foul off his foot. Up that first base side. So the count 2-1 now.
Crawford went after the fastball that time and said ouch after it.
Yeah, that's the pitch he had to be looking for on 2-0. He got one, but he beat down on it. So Gonzalez now got a brand new ball. Crawford stays right in the box. Gonzalez back on the mound. Puts his left toe on the third base side of the pitching rubber. The left-hander quickly says yes. He sets and he delivers. Crawford takes a high fastball. So now 3-1. And again, Gonzalez will take that short walk around the mound. And now back on top. Now Gonzalez is ready. Crawford, that wide open stance, digs in. Here comes the 3-1 delivery. He walked him. Fastball that almost hit him. So now they're loaded. And now for Tampa Bay, the tying run is just 90 feet away. And the winning run is out there at second base. And now Ben Zobrist will try to be a hero for Tampa Bay.
And the guy at second base, a better runner than the guy at third, who represents the winning run, and that's Jason Bartlett.
But from what I've seen so far, Mike Gonzalez is not going to be good for my blood pressure. Zobrist digs in. Lefty against righty. The lefty, Gonzalez. Zobrist digs in. Here comes the pitch. Check swing, but he went too far. And the appeal, they do get the call. Doing a pretty good breaking ball. It would have been a ball. But Zobrist had committed to it and just could not check his swing.
Yeah, Zobrist, I think, was looking for that fastball on the initial pitch, and he had the hands and body in motion, just couldn't stop.
Looks like there's a right-hander about to get ready in the Oriole bullpen.
Probably Clay Meredith again.
Yeah.
Lance Cormier throwing in the bullpen just in case for the Rays.
Now Gonzalez ready, delivers. Zobrist takes upstairs, not even close. Even up at 1-1. And on deck is Longoria, yep. Orioles ahead 5-4, bottom of the ninth inning with 2 outs, bases loaded. Gonzalez is ready, the left-hander coming home. Swing and a fly ball right field. Markakis is there. He makes the catch, and the Orioles are in the win column. And it's a darn good thing.
Time of game, 3 hours, 22 minutes.
I almost couldn't take it.
The winning pitcher is Mattis.
Mike Gonzalez, redemption. It wasn't easy, but it was redemption. He gets that big out, and the Orioles have won it by a score of 5-4, and now they come home to open the season looking for their second consecutive victory as they open the home campaign.
Wow. Brian Mattis struggled a bit.
Well said.
Yeah. But he got the win, and victory number 1 for the youngster in 2010.
Nicely done. We'll come back with the lovely totals right after this. All right. Hello again, baseball fans. Joe Angel, Fred Manfred back in St. Petersburg, where this one winds up in the win column. It wasn't easy, but as Dave Tremblay would say after the game, hey, we had them all the way. Never a doubt. Wow. But they do win it. So they come home on a winning note to open the regular season at Camden Yards against the Blue Jays tomorrow afternoon. The lovely totals here this afternoon. The Orioles had 5 runs and 9 hits. No errors. They strand 8. Tampa Bay with 4 runs and a total of 6 hits. They make no errors, and they leave 8 men on base. Brian Mattis allowed just 2 hits, but he walked 5 in his outing tonight. He was not at his best, and yet he found a way to win the ball game, so he is now 1-0. Ekstrom in relief, the loser for Tampa Bay. He is 0-1. And Mike Gonzalez had that save all the way, never a doubt. His first as an Oriole. Time of the game was 3 hours and 22 minutes. And the attendance here, 16,191. Brian Mattis was cagey tonight, especially early in the game as we go to the highlights. In the first inning, 1 out, bases empty. Crawford walked. And it's a darn good thing.
Time of game, 3 hours, 22 minutes.
I'll save. Hey, Fred, let's go home.
Yeah, it will be very good to get home. The Orioles haven't been there since October of last year to play a baseball game. And now opening day tomorrow, 3:05. Orioles will arrive very early Friday morning and then head out to the ballpark before a sellout crowd to see Brad Bergeson take the hill against Toronto's Brandon Morrow. It'll be a 3-game series with the Jays, and then the Rays come to Baltimore Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon. Then the Orioles will be on the road again for a long road trip through Oakland, Seattle, and Boston. Now, as I mentioned, opening day tomorrow, and if you think about taking your family to the ball game, think MTA. Great way to do it. They'll drop you off right at the Oriole ballpark and pick you up there, too, with MTA local bus, light rail, or metro subway. Remember, those parking and traffic hassles, they disappear when you take the MTA. So, Baltimore, here come the Orioles. Opening day tomorrow. Look forward to it.
All right, so until tomorrow night, this is Joe Angel for my partner, Fred Manfred, saying thank you so much. We enjoyed it, and we hope you did, too. Here tonight, the Orioles finally, first time of the regular season, in the win column. Another 1-1 ball game. This time they hang on to beat Tampa Bay by a score of 5-4. Stay tuned. Steve Molesky and Dave Johnson will follow immediately with the All Access postgame show. This is the Oriole Radio Network.
The Oriole